All right, live. What's up, guys? Got Zod on the show out of the blue. Thank you for coming through.
Hey man, I had to make up for last week, man. I'm so sorry. Because I didn't want to bail. I had a phone call I had to take, but you know what was funny? Like
Yeah.
like you were really getting into the weeds, and I kind of thought you were wrapping it up, but then I went back and rewatched it. You went out for like another 45 minutes after that. So I was
Probably
like,
like another
man.
4 hours.
Yeah, I was like, because you
What's
you
it?
had said, okay, I think that's it. I think we got it. And you were winding it down, and then all of a sudden something else popped up, and you were like, oh, here's this. And then it was
You know,
like, wow.
that's how it happens, man. Like, I'll come on and it'd be like, all right, this is only going to be an hour. And then a guest may come on, and then it just goes from there. Like, shit
Yeah,
happens.
man.
Let me see if I can pull this shit up. All right, so present, share screen, window. All right. So y'all saw the what's it, the titles screen there, the what do you call that shit, the thumbnail. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
And it's talking about rats, shit, piss, and urine and all that crap, and you're probably going, what the hell? Well, what happened was everybody knows about the time bomb crap with the Iircade. So people were losing licenses. Was it due to a code error? Was it due to the licenses actually expiring? Who knows, right? But it is a fact that there was a fix that was sent out by one of the batch devs, um, and this fix addresses one of the games that was having an error. And the way it fixed it was to make the game assume it's a preloaded game. What does that mean? Preloaded, because the preloaded games don't have an expiration like the ones that were having the error.
So
So
now, is
we
that
just
true with all the preloaded games?
so far,
Uh,
if it
okay.
if it's I'm not a coder or a dev, but if it's scripted in that file to reflect it's preloaded, IRK should not dial home and there should not be an error. Jong apparently had a lot of sloppiness of how they wrote up the UI or whatever the hell. I'm misspeaking, but the way everything was written up was poor. So now a lot of games are trying to phone home and they can't. And because they can't, just, your typical DRM checks. So let me pull this up. So while that was happening, craziest thing, and it was on this channel, guy came in and he's like, yeah, I had a bunch of rats in my Iircade. I thought it was a troll. I thought it was a particular troll. I was like, man, that was who. Like, come to find out it wasn't. And during this process, the guy said his reasoning that his license were messed up was because of rat shit and piss. And he posted pictures. Here's the problem. I'm sorry. Turn this down. It wasn't adding up. A lot of things weren't adding up, right? Because rat shit and piss doesn't actually cause licensing errors. Like maybe say somehow your board got shorted. Okay. You try to log on, you might have some errors going on or something like that, some flashing lights, something. But it isn't due to rat piss or your wires to your PCB being chewed on. That's not affecting the board like that.
No.
But let's just say we took him for his word, but this is where the shenanigans begins. I look back in his post from months prior. He's got one Iircade, right? Another arcade that he bought from somebody with those issues. Then he goes on to say, not only is it that one Iircade, now this is the second one, has that issue. He bought, but he got two more from two different other people with the same exact issues. So this motherfucker is telling me he's got 4 Iircades and 3 of them have rat, shit, piss, and urine feces and chewed up wires, and they're all having the exact same game licensing errors, right? I'm like, so then I make fun of it, obviously.
I thought the rats were figurative, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Like, you know, like the rats are just like another way of saying there's something in the code that's causing these games not to work anymore. You know, honestly, through the license wires.
So then this motherfucker had the audacity to, because then we started talking like 3 days ago, right? Started talking. And I'm like, nah, man, shenanigans, right? Everything was cool, kosher, had a civil conversation. He deletes all of it. Because I had made a post where I'm like, I'm telling you guys the exact same thing. And I said, well, Master Splinter must have stopped you from, getting these licenses or some shit like that, right? That's like the only jest I made. But I highlighted his post, like, wow, this is crazy, right? Then he has the audacity to write, I said this in good faith and you're just mocking me. I'm like, wait a minute. You delete your original thread, then you delete all your comments, and then you have the nerve 3 days after the fact to come to my post that you've already commented on and act like you just seen this. And now you're a victim. And that's the bullshit in this community. So I'm calling his ass out. Like, you're
of course you
you're
are.
A troll. So let me see if I can.
The rants. For the rants, by the rants, I guess.
Yeah, man.
What can we say?
It was insane. So look at, he's saying this was all in this shit, and it makes no sense.
What did he keep it outside? I mean,
it makes none of this makes sense because the shit's sealed. It's sealed, right? Like your Iircade is pretty much sealed. I know mice can get
say in. What you will. Say what you will about Iircade as a company or whatever. One thing I can say is they make a clean cabinet. It's pretty, I mean,
I'm probably getting trolled. Bravo. But hey, it's fun. Like, it's a talking point. So not only did you troll me, but you're just giving me content. So I appreciate it. But this is funny as fuck. Like, this dude went and like actually found, I don't know what it is. So then here he is. I'm like, dude, there's no way that you got. But what pissed me off the most is not even the fact that, okay, maybe they chewed, but there's no way they chewed it while it was assembled.
He let his dog eat it.
Yeah, they didn't. It had to be disassembled on the floor and in the garage or some bullshit, right? He put fucking peanut butter all over it, right. And then he, like, you took it apart and the shit's just lined up for you, like, the fuck.
It's pretty funny, to be honest, though.
It's hilarious. I had made a. Let me see if I can find the post here. All right, so he makes another comment and talks about it. I purchased the OG Tron cap from the guy who was posting here. He didn't say who. He's full of it because there's actually no. I'm not buying it. Stating he lost some of his licenses. It turns out that mice actually caused the problems with this machine. And that's where I'm like, okay, well, caused the problems as in he was having errors on his machines. But then the guy doubled down and was like, no, it's the license errors that were the problem. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck what you say. It wasn't due to mice. After I got it home and opened up the cabinet, so now he's saying he got home. I'm like, dude, you got ripped off.
So where did he buy it from? From a garage sale?
But here's the problem. He's counting for one. How are you gonna? What's the story for the other two? He goes, I found them all chewed up. I have also been made aware of one other person who purchased. Okay, I misread this part, so I'm gonna retract. Here we go. But check this out. It still doesn't make fucking sense. I have also been made aware of one other person who purchased 2 used cabs that also had the same license problem. Guess what? Both of those cabinets were also full of mouse droppings and had chewed up wires. The fuck? I took a few pictures of the inside of the cab that I had purchased. So I was wrong about him having the 3. But the bottom was the worst, but I didn't think to take any photos at that point. So he's claiming he has one, and he knows personally of 2 other people, or one other person who purchased 2 other cabinets with his exact same issues of chewed up shit and rat crap. I'm just not buying it, man. And if this is how the community lives, what the fuck?
What does that say about people that buy these machines?
Yeah, like you didn't do your. You just went out there.
I kind of figured like it's a parody on, the people that buy real arcades and they bring them home and they open them up and they find dead rat carcasses and droppings.
When the person had made this comment, I thought it was somebody else, and I thought it was making light of when Sea Lion had got hers.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, it's possible.
Sea Lion had that happen, and 19K Fox had that happen. A bunch of people when they buy the real arcade cabinets. But that's what you're going to get, and you expect that because you don't know how those kinds of machines have been being kept during all that time.
Right,
so that makes
but we're talking decades.
These are new.
We're talking like a decade of never been attended to.
Sure,
the machine's probably already broken.
At least a decade.
And when you buy it, you're buying it on the purpose of restoring it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You're going to sand and file it down. You're basically just buying the form factor. But this is pretty new. This is like a 3-year company.
Right. And it's not going to come to you in this condition. And you do have to question, like what you were saying earlier, about how some of these people are living if this is the condition that these cabinets are in, like for real. What are you sitting in it, using it as a place place to put your newborn child to sleep? I mean, what is the use? Oh, it's insane.
Now, they call it the Tron cab for obvious reasons.
Sure.
And then this cat's like, they made a Tron cabinet. I'm just like, I don't know, you're new to the community, but come on, bro. But I'm gonna show you those pictures soon. So he goes, the intention of my post was to help people out. Now, this, mind you, this was 72 hours. See, look how old the post is. And we've already had a long diatribe back and forth, right? And he pretty much, I consider lost the debate when I was, saying, look, I get it. You opened it up and it isn't working, but that's not how this issue is working. It's not your rat shit and piss, did not especially cause a license issue, in your cabinet.
Now, was he saying, so he was saying this from the beginning? Was this before or after you brought out the evidence of the licensing issues?
This was during the show, and I thought I had took the screenshot here, and apparently I didn't load it. So I don't want to do too long. Like if I had the other folks, I would load it up while they talk. But
right.
So on the show, he mentioned if you see here, Carl had said he had deleted his comment. So he came to this show, and when he was saying it, I'm like, that's some outlandish shit, right? So even it's to the point where even the moderator was like, nah, man, not buying that story, right? You sound funky. So I had mentioned it, and that's where he made the comment, like that was me who made the thing. And he had posted up his shit as evidence. And I was like, oh crap. So I had made another post, and I did make jest of the rat shit piss, but I wasn't insulting it. I was just like, oh damn, Master Splinter did something, right? This is crazy that this happened. But then he tried to play victim, and make it like we didn't already have a long conversation and talk about it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So I wrote, you deleted your comments in this thread and the original one. Why? Because clearly you don't want to stand on what you said, right? After 72 hours, reposting to portray yourself as a victim of a plot. There's because this is after he says, feel free to disagree with me. I have no issues with that, but I have a lot better things to do to come here and explain myself just to be mocked. I said, there's skepticisms about a delay in addressing concerns raised in prior conversations. Initially, you had one cabinet citing evidence from past posts. You then claimed to purchase another cabinet from license issues, attributing problems to rat-related issues, including urine feces and chewed wires, allegedly acquiring 2 more cabinets, that's where I misread, with similar license problems and rodent damage brings to a total of 4, with 3 now inactive due to rat-related issues. I said, discontent arises over a joke made with doubts cast on your legitimacy of the rat-related problems affecting your cabinets. The narrative unfolded in a stream where you shared your story, but the deletions of the posts and comments raises suspicions of playing the victim after supposedly discovering this recent post. So like I said, he wrote this as if he just like saw this thread in the group when he already had at least 10 to 15 comments that we discussed already that were laid to rest 3 days ago. Then he deletes everything and then comes out with this bullshit like, surprise, I've just seen this little shot for the first time. Fuck, it's a weird community. Like
you gotta stop surprising people like this. It's
like,
really...
what the fuck? 3 days later, you want to go, like, were you dreaming about this? Were you crying about this at night? You know,
people act like you just pull this stuff out of your ears. Like, oh,
yeah, it's your story, motherfucker. You know, it's your story. You're telling me rat shits took away your games.
The rats stole my arcade game.
Oh. and then he goes, well, this is more of a common problem than you realize. I said, not in my house. Like, look, man, I live in the woods and shit. Rats are a thing. Like, mice can get into the cleanest areas, you know.
Sure.
It doesn't, like, they will come if it's cold, they'll come for the warmth. Things happen. You know, you're not dirty just because mice exist, right? This here. Dirty motherfucker. Like, they don't go, oh, I'm going to go to the most airtight sealed area in the room and find my way into it. And then for food, I'm not going to go rummage to your cabinet or scrounge for other materials. I'm going to impossibly climb up a whole sheet of like 5 foot of fucking cardboard and then hang upside down and eat for substance your wires. And then I'm gonna piss on your PCB board. Like, make it make sense, man.
Yeah, it's all programmed. See these rats all have their own little PCB, and they're programmed to go in and damage your Iircade. It's a big conspiracy. I mean, it's happening to, don't you understand? It's happening to like at least half of the 50 people who bought an Iircade. So that's 25 damaged machines.
This makes sense. So I decided to inspect my cabinet, and you know, I was hoping he would chop this up too. I was told the wrong information, that it was having licenses issue because the other guy just wasn't that bright. And come to find out, I got ripped the fuck off, not because it was licensing issues, but the guy was nasty and had rats in his shit, and because he had it in his garage or something, I'll give him a bone, right? But no, he wanted to double down. Like, no, this is not how this works. It's ridiculous. On another note, let me see if I have it here. Do you remember when we were talking about the cable networks having yeah, there we go. So I got confirmation. Maybe I'll get him later so I can do what I do and show. But he did sell. He's not only writing about it and telling the courts because when you write on these documents to submit to the U.S. government, any lies would be, a crime. You incriminate yourself, right? Or not incriminate, but oh damn it, I forgot the term. But you're not supposed to lie, right? And yeah, I'm gonna find out what this supposed data is. He claims it was not any personal information. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna see what, hopefully, through the contract so it was signed. But it doesn't seem good.
Well, those cabinets could get everything off of your Wi-Fi. Whatever's on your Wi-Fi, the cabinet can read it. So they have access to that information. And so him selling it, that's the whole purpose of that, so that they could get your information to be able to profit off of it later.
Yeah. I mean, they have been looking for such data, and they are very excited to sell the data that we have to gaming companies who are looking to find out more about gamers. What could be so important that they can find out if it wasn't personal? And I don't know, maybe maybe his definition of personal is different from mine. I'm not this is not feeling good to me.
Right. Like, what brand of toilet paper do you use? I mean, he's it's hard to say. I mean, he does have an army of rats with PCBs going after cabinets. So it's really, really hard to tell.
Well, this non-personal information is so valuable, he assesses it at $1 million.
Yeah, and if it wasn't personal information, what the hell kind of information is worth that type of monetary value?
Exactly.
That's the question. I mean, because what are you getting? You're getting people's masturbation habits. I mean, what is the reality here? I don't get it.
Yeah, because let me see if I can pull this up real quick. It was on that Theranos thingy I was doing when I was trying to log all this stuff. It was back in 2022 when I had discovered, because I was digging on the foreign websites, and he had made a broker deal. Now, at the time, this guy was proud to share everything he's done, right? And it's
it literally says, and we are very excited to sell the data. That says it all right there. That's like the smoking gun.
Right. I mean, that's how it is for me. Let me see if I can pull this up. Present. Oh, here's my boy. I didn't see you. I don't want to ban him. I want to invite him in at the stage. There we go. Hey, brother. How you doing?
Very good.
Malcolm, how's it going?
Glad you showed, man.
I saw that he was very happy to sell our information, but not happy enough to clear mouse or rat fecal out of people's cabinets. These license issues. I don't get it. I don't see where anybody can stand with this guy still to this day and age and not be pissed about.
Well, see, you're saying that because you didn't get Mortal Kombat installed on your machine for free. You didn't get Metal Slug. You didn't get,
I know a person who did
all the King of Fighters games. I mean, these people straight up got so many great freebies. they got what the
Oh, you know about it.
Iircade was actually supposed to be in the first place.
Oh, so you know about it? Because I was like, I know people who did, but it sounds like you know about it. Yeah, yeah, you know, people who got fed exactly what Zod said. You know,
People were eating.
so why would they
good.
complain?
People were eating good, and that's why they were all ready
For
to
Mrs.
back
Khan right here.
them up no matter what.
Get yourself some of this. Greatest tasting wine on earth. Were you talking, Prince? I didn't.
No, I was just saying
okay.
how
Gotcha.
rat is, and I can understand if it's a gold cabinet because there's a with the gold. I guess rats could, if it's the 10 cabinet away. That is like a locked.
Shoot, I think you're breaking up on my side, brother. Is it breaking up for you, Zod?
Yeah, he's breaking up really bad. Can only hear like bits and pieces. Very
it's like every other word, Prince. Sorry.
I'll be back.
Okay. Do a good reset.
Yeah, I hope he comes back quick because he was really.
He had great things to say.
He had great things to say. I was getting excited.
I was like,
because I can't be the only one that knows about all these people that got fed behind the scenes.
Yeah, man. These dudes got Mortal Kombat 1 and everything, and it's wild. And then they talk about legalities.
Games. Somebody got
don't pirate your games, but I'm gonna get that Mortal Kombat
Fighter
1.
Alpha, all these games, and I'm like, man, y'all just straight up got everything, and we're all sitting here with Moon Patrol, AAA.
Let me catch up on the chat. Sorry, guys. Carl is running it through here. Acknowledge you guys. Thank you. Hey, Mikey. Hey, Carl. Hey, Butter. JLS. I peed on the back of my. That's funny as fuck. Did you have a license issue after? I wouldn't know. I never played it. Just turned up. You fool. The mics work for Iircade. The mics are reclaiming licenses. Y'all are fools. There were the cheapest way to enforce. If he had said one cabinet, but he said it happened on 3. Yes, thank you. It's outlandish as fuck. John is controlling the rats and the Avengers. Excuse me. Why has he done this? Nasty. Mysterious mice. Where's Prince? He's caught up on that. Rats. John's looking at my internet browser. So John is like the Pied Piper. That's my next meme. Yep. There he is, Prince of Darkness in the dark. What's up, Ichabod? So sorry, just got here. So are you saying Iircade got info about me from my cabinet? I'm insinuating it. Ichabod, yes. I mean, there's nothing positive I can say about this guy, right? So it would be one thing if this was 3 years back and y'all were made to believe he's the greatest guy on Green's earth, but come on, man. I mean, so far everything's been going So
he's definitely.
I didn't just magically come up with these files.
He's definitely a polite man. I mean,
yes, huh?
He's definitely a polite man.
I disagree, and because I know folks who've seen who he is.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could see who he is, but then he puts
no, I'm sorry.
He puts on a good
that showed his true self. Because
but he puts on. But what I'm saying is that he puts on that facade. You see, and that's what I'm saying.
I understand. Mic check.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Sound great.
And you were going on some good stuff. If you didn't provide all your data to John to sell, he has been sending his army of rest. How about how Retro KO was on someone else's goal unit, yet the game never. Yeah, so that came straight from Mystery Encoder.
Wow.
Actually, it was in this stream.
Mhm.
So I'm not like, stirring up nothing. He said this in our
Another
stream, right? You were here, right?
confirmation
He said-
from Messiah. Yes.
So he said he got P-Dub's cabinet, and it had the Retro KO on it.
Of course it did. Yeah.
He said this in this chat.
Not surprised.
Jeez. Before even the person that got the news over to the people to work out that deal didn't even get it.
And then all the people that got screwed out of that retro punch out cabinet. I mean,
yeah,
that's the other thing, man.
I can't believe that.
I don't know if I provided any. That's the thing about data. I mean, I guess he can only get what you provide, but here's what he did get. He got your credit card info. What do you get from credit card info? Name, first name, middle initial, last name, any additional crap you got on the end, like if you're the third or the fourth or something like that, right? They got your address, right? So, and that's pretty good info. So then with your address, they know where you live. They know your demographics, your age, what you're purchasing, so they can easily go, this is Ichabod Crane from blah, blah, blah. He lives here. He logs on to his Iircade at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning playing Moon Patrol. Like this is data that they got. But it's data you agreed to.
Yeah.
These guys sold us games in the last minute. The Rat King sent them to the God, you bought a game. He's got your info. Thank you. It does sadly seem like the Iircade was a scam. Yeah, I didn't want it to be. I got one, man.
Yeah.
Like I got two technically. Why would I want to scam? Why would I want to?
It's a well-built machine that was used to facilitate a scam, basically.
Yes. So right here, this guy shared everything with the community. Why wouldn't he be proud of this? Did you ever heard of this? Why wouldn't he say, "Hey guys, we did some great, amazing things. I can't wait to share it with you, with the community.
I sold your data."
So my assumption was at the time, because I didn't have the facts, I just could only, go off of, wow, what's a brokerage about? Da-da-da. My theories was he was going to go to the software realm. He was going to do exactly what he was doing and sell your data to companies overseas. I was thinking like India and stuff like that, but supposedly, according to his own words, Korea cable companies. And I did get confirmation it was Korea cable companies. Hopefully I can show the receipts to back my words. But hey, you know how that goes. Right? Let's see here.
One thing too, they're so happy to sell that information like was in that page that you show, but not happy enough to pay off the developers that earned the money for making those damn games.
Well, the thing is, he was happy enough to have it on the internet, but he was not happy enough to show it off to you guys. Y'all didn't know nothing about it until I'm the one who dug on Korean news networks to find it.
That's why he was spending so much time in Korea, because he was.
This was exactly. I agree. So this was something that was like way back, right? You see October 16th, and it got brought up because I was in that fan page, and I was mad because at the time I was like, you know what? I haven't given the Iircade a true shot since I've been booted from the group for no fucking reason, thanks to the jerk off you're about to see. Because I was in the Iircade program to get free fucking games. That's gonna be my rant. And I was gonna boot up the machine to start shilling again. I was like, you know what? I'm negative, about this. Even though I had a bad experience, I got to stop being jaded about it. I'm going to show this off.
Right.
First time I load up, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play bash bowling with a guy I just met in the fan page, and I'm going to stream it. And I'm going to get back into the Iircade. But what happens to me? My games are being deleted.
Wow.
My bash game got wiped, and other games started just magically removing itself. 40 fucking days. I would go on the Iircade zone and make a complaint to Gunther and Dom and Bill, going, yo, they're not helping me. Bill's like, he's an open developer for them at the time. He's like, yo, they owe you a new fucking PCB, like, they got to fix this. Wouldn't do it. Kept getting back and forth. Poor Caitlin, she was a moderator and on the team at the time. And after being ignored by this one, I forgot the fucker's name, but he was helping out. He was the customer service.
Deus?
Yeah, worthless. And he had the nerve to send me over to Kate. So Kate going, hey, let me tell, what's happening? And I'm like, if you don't send me fucking back to this guy, I'm not repeating myself again. I said, he done fucked you over because I've already explained all this shit. How about you read all the fucking information I already sent? She's like, okay. And she sent me back. And I threatened him. I said, you know what? I said, if you guys don't fix this like ASAP, this is 40 fucking days in. I had over 30 email exchanges, 40 days in. All right. I said, I'm going to make a Better Business Bureau report, and I'm going all in on your asses. Right then and there, the next 5 minutes, came back, got my update, everything good to go.
So they can really do that at the push of a button. It's that easy. Wow.
Yes, they can. And I got, once again, confirmation because I've seen it in the Telegram messages. John would, if you did a chargeback, John will wipe your shit.
Yeah, that's how I got Circus Interstellar removed from my cabinet. And I was accused of uploading it or stealing it through the hack or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. The Circus Interstellar guys, when I start giving out codes for, we were trying to get, what is it? The cabinet's information from everybody. We were trying to get it so that Iircade could load it up to people's cabinets. And then just one morning I turned it on. I'm like, holy shit. My shit is gone. What the fuck is going on? So they have the power to do it.
So let me give these guys some clout. But this is relevant to what I was talking about. And this is what occurred. Let me see here, please.
Cabinet, look at that.
That's not the one.
Nice marquee.
Why did it do this shit? Okay, here we go. Let's see here. All right, so it's actually playing, but okay. How do I pause this shit? Oh, it's all the way over there.
Cabinet, look at that.
Oh,
Nice
sorry about
marquee.
that. This fucking format too. This shit sucks. I think I'm doing like a recording on a recording, so I can't figure it out. Is this playing? Nope. I wish I could pause it.
Michael, what's going on, buddy?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
What's up, Michael?
I do cry every single time.
Identification numbers, like all this stuff that they're allowed to collect.
A single
tier. A single tier. You get like a notification on your phone. Rainwater just refunded another game.
Protect the server that way, so I know. Like, we just track you all down. It's fine.
We got all of our information on our machines.
It's scary how much he probably knows about us. He's got our addresses, credit card information, everything. Well, Michael, so you're kind of a big deal over at Iircade. You wear many hats. I know you work with like the customer service team and the QA team, and you do a lot of stuff hands-on yourself. Can you kind of give us a little background for those who don't know you? Like, what exactly do you do at Iircade? What's your role?
So I'm the director, the executive producer at the company. So I do a little bit of everything, like you said. I do deal directly with our customer service team. So I do see your messages to them and things like that. A lot of times they'll come to me and ask, like, can we do this? Can we do that? Or like, how do we want to respond
So
to
you
this?
see all my
I
messages
deal with
and
all
you was
that. I
ignoring.
deal with our QA team, of course. So originally I was hired in for just testing originally as a QA
Can't
lead.
see it.
So I did that. So originally it was just me actually testing the game. So
Now
all
he's
those
over at
11
Game.
preloaded games and
Thinking
things like
that
that. A lot of
placement.
Sega games and stuff that released really early
Oh,
on.
this is
I was
when
actually just testing those. So I did all that. I still
this
do
was
game
back
testing.
when I got booted.
I work directly with all
messages.
of our developers.
Yeah.
So we license the games and stuff like that.
It's hard to
Sometimes
read,
I'm the
but
one who fully does kind of all that stuff too. I let our CCO and stuff take care of the actual license deal itself. But beyond that, it's usually just me talking one-on-one with the developers. I help them deal with problems if they arise on systems and stuff like that. Software updates like we're testing right now for system
Tempered
updates.
glass.
I do all that stuff. A little bit of design. I'm the one redesigning your entire user interface, so you can blame me for that right now too. A little bit of cab design kind of stuff too.
We'll
Everything
talk
here and there,
about that.
marketing, business, legal. I don't know what I kind of don't have a hand in at this point at the company. So
Yeah, that's probably a better question. What do you not do there? Like, do you clean the toilets?
Yeah.
Or
Do you get
like,
lunch?
I mean, I restocked the kitchen like yesterday.
he's getting coffee for Jong, and
I can't believe anybody actually sat through those streams.
but what's amazing is I say it's incorrect, but you heard it from the horse's mouth, right?
Yep.
You know, it's scary how much he has. He's got our blah blah blah, his blah 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 blah. But I could show you the Privacy Act fucking shit that they had, and then him writing it to the government. But I'm wrong. Now I played you these motherfuckers, audios. I guess I'm still wrong. Like,
telling you the truth in plain sight, telling you exactly what's going on and making a joke out of it, making it seem funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're stealing the information from you. Yeah, we're infringing on your privacy and encroaching all your private information. But you know what? It's okay. It's great. It's great that they know where we live. It's great that they know everything we do. It's great that they know how often we play with ourselves. It's great that they have, all of this stuff, but don't mind that. Just buy these second tier and third tier games and be happy. Okay, give us your money.
So Carl, you're not in the. I heard you. That's great information, Zod. They it's confirmation. They're not. It's not tempered glass.
Hell no.
If you didn't know,
it's not tempered glass. So funny.
So.
If somebody had a temper with your glass.
You're right.
It's the name. It's the name of. You know what it is? They get away with calling it tempered glass because the name of the company that creates the slab of glass that they use is called Temper. So that's how they get away with calling it tempered glass. It's like when they say that, like these hamburger companies tell you that the meat that you're buying is 100% beef.
Right.
And they get away with it because it's not 100% beef, but the name of the company that processes the beef is actually called 100% beef.
That's insane.
So legally, when they say it contains 100% beef, they get away with it because the company that processes the beef is called 100% beef.
That's insane.
It really is bizarre how these things work. And I just chalk it up to that. It probably is that, tempered produces the glass. So therefore they can call it tempered glass.
I was looking into these title agreements for a friend. And there's two contracts. One's from 2021 and the other is from 2020. 2021 one is a second renewal that includes 14 additional games, Space Invaders being one of them. So they had Space Invaders since 2021, by the way. That got renewed on the second term. But the first one was interesting, and I got to get to the bottom of it. The first one was in 2020 for a 3-year contract. I'll confirm. But it was a 3-year contract, 2020. It was in October 2020, right? For 3 years. So that would mean that it expires in October of 2023, right? The game in question, which was an Android version, was Space Invaders Gene, or whatever the hell it's called, right?
Yeah, Infinity.
Didn't that game just come out with the Space Invaders in like August?
Yeah, because I think the one that Michael per se created came out first, and then that one came out maybe 2 or 3 months later afterwards.
Right. And I would have to get with, the people who know this stuff better. But I mean, I don't think it should take rocket science if you have a term of agreement of a signed date and it says it lasted so many years. From that signed date, that should be the expiration date, correct? Where you shouldn't be able to sell no more. Now, that doesn't mean that somehow magically I didn't get the new licenses that occurred. But if you want me to believe they got new licenses when they're about to go bankrupt and they paid out $100,000 or some bullshit already for this, and they didn't, pay taxes for 3 years, I'm not really going to go for that. But hey, have at it. So I'm under the impression they were selling Space Invaders Gene expired.
Yeah. And then here's another interesting thing too. If you beat the game, I don't know how they did it, but in the credits it has I think developer credits for John Wook-shin in it. Yeah.
Because it's
okay. I know how they did it.
It's a port. Because it's an in-house altered code kind of a thing.
So if it's true what he said, which is kind of impressive, but or not, because I guess I could go on ChatGPT and do it. He made it from scratch from Unity, he being Michael's fallback. And then he was crediting himself, saying that he had to do all this meticulous work to make it basically pure to the original.
Wasn't even really all that playable on the Iircade, though, to tell you the truth. It was very buggy.
Bullshit. It was a 20 out of 10 review. It was perfect. It was flawless. It was better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mortal Kombat.
It kept crashing for me. I got a refund on my copy.
You're a hater, and you're just lying.
I guess.
I mean, I was told it was flawless. What are you talking about? That's crazy.
There's very few games that run on the Iircade that are flawless. Let's just put it that way.
I hope it works forever for you, man, and never stops working. The problem is there's too many people coming out. But let me talk on this. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what I'm gonna be straight up. This is what really irks me about this community. Some of the laziest motherfuckers never contribute to shit. Everyone's sitting here asking, well, what games are infected? So I make a poll, right? I'm doing legwork, right? So people don't go, what's what and just be all over the place. So I make a poll. I'm like, all right, who's been infected, right? We got like 800 members or some shit. And I think we have like several hundred participators. And we're talking a very small, minute number of people are having issues. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get to the bottom of I think one is too many. This is how I am. I'm an advocate. It's not because I'm written on the arcade. I don't want anybody to not have playable fucking games. So it's like, you know what? Let's get to the bottom of it. And so far, we have a fix that fixes one main issue. That's how you contribute back, right? I go to my friend who's, didn't have to do none of this. And he contributes, with the team back to the community and puts out a fix. That's how you put back, right? That's what I'm bringing to the table, And so I want to get a list. I make a poll. About 9 people participate, saying that they don't have licenses. It's been about 48 fucking hours. I tagged every single one of them. I said, hey, I need you guys to either get with me via, Messenger or just write it in here. Just put down what game you have missing so I can make a comprehensive list about who is missing what from what, right? 48 fucking hours later, none of these motherfuckers are participating. It reaches like 500 people. It's some of the laziest shit I've ever seen in my life. Give me. Take. And, don't fucking contribute. It's pathetic, and while I'm writing this, so I write another post. I'm going, look, I sent you guys messages. This takes participation. I'm trying to do good for the community. I would love a list so then we can figure out what's what. Maybe this is a fluke. I just want to get the factual information out there. If this is a fluke, if it's just an error, or are these all fixable? I don't know. Let's figure it out, right? While I'm doing this, motherfucker goes, oh, what games are messed up? Because I don't want to go through all my games. But first off, asshole, if you don't want to do it, then shut the fuck up. You're not helping out, right? And then I go, well, sir, I'm being polite in the thing. I go, well, sir, I'm figuring this out as we speak. I'm real time trying to get the information. Well, I understand that. Well, I'm thinking to myself, if you fucking understand, why are you asking? You're not helping. I'm like, let me repeat myself, because you could just reread what I wrote, but I got to rewrite what I wrote and explain myself again. You got the man, old man. What's up, brother?
Old man, Ruckus.
Ooh, some popcorn I smell down there. I'm hungry now. What's up, man?
Yeah,
go ahead and interject.
Got my mini drinking alcohol.
Nice.
So, just been watching, going in, and once again I saw Zod Rider on, so I hopped on just because he was there. He wasn't here. I wanted to come on.
Man, thanks, Bill. Man, Bill, I'm gonna have to get you on one of my late night Q&As coming up, man. We gotta catch up again.
We gotta catch up, man. It's been a while, but yeah, man. It's I seen a couple of things they were actually for. I'm super trying to get a hold of Vanilla Beast, let him know, because the issue with porting his title, the retro knockout, over to the Bash Box, is that he started the process for Iircade. Iircade screwed him over, and now he's kind of stuck, and he's working on other systems. He was working with Atari, and for whatever reason that fell through. Now my guess is because of the type of game he is, the type of game it is, and not necessarily the type of game it is. It's just the depiction of the more adult content, to where I'm like,
is he gonna do he's gonna do the uncensored version, not the one that's on Steam, the uncensored version.
That's what I want.
That's the Bash Box.
I reached out to him. I told him, look, if
the one with the porn star in it, the one.
Whatever. And it's I'm not some super thirsty dude, because I got a wife, I got a bunch of kids, so it's not like I'm one of those dudes. But
he's
watch it together.
It's included. It's part of. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's part.
More importantly, it's his vision.
Yeah,
and I think the bigger picture is it's the dev's vision. It's where he said, "This is what I wanted to have it." Johnson, this is Rolling Rock. This is a gentleman Jack.
Fake.
Oh, he's talking like, but it's his artistic vision.
This is
what
real.
I'm more concerned about. It's not like he's got a bunch of kids being raped or killed. It's part of the story. And to be quite honest with you, it's a boxer who's coming up from the streets. It's going to have sex, it's going to have drugs, it's going to have alcohol, but it contributes to the story to where it's not like a porno. You know what I mean? It's his artistic vision.
It's true.
That's
it's
what
true. There's a running.
I mean,
if
Rocky
running
was
throughout
rated
the game.
R,
It's
Yeah,
all
there's a-
about the
there's a-
aesthetics.
There's a running gag throughout the game about STDs and stuff.
I've
And-
literally
It's a real life situation.
I've taken prostitutes in cars and had sex with them on Grand Theft Auto 3 on PlayStation 2 and on
Oh my God, Bill, I honestly thought you were going somewhere else.
Dude, I was
and I'm
like,
glad you said Grand Theft Auto 3.
I was like this. I was like, no.
no. I mean,
I was like,
but this is Grand Theft Auto 3. There's actual sequences where it's like QTE events of sex on games like Fable, on games like Skyrim.
well,
So-
God of War didn't get kicked back, did it?
Of course, God of War is not going to kick back because why would
Man, they
Sony?
did quick action and shit, and you screwing other dudes' wives and stuff, and they're gonna go, what's
Exactly.
the God story? It was
Grab them by the
And-
hair.
But to be quite honest with you, in God of War, it made sense. You know, it was part of the story. In
Maybe
Grand
in-
Theft Auto,
it makes
it's not
sense in the
part of
real world.
But
Yeah,
maybe in
You're
this
like
case,
some New
because
York
it's,
fucking city shit, and
maybe
you're doing
in this case, because it's a parody of Punch Out, maybe that's what's putting other publishers off.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's the
Me
the
too.
fact that
stuff.
it's the
indie-
maturity.
Yeah,
it's,
the
it's an
maturity.
indie studio that dared to say my content is adult without being porn, without being.
Well, there's a lot of adult game. The thing is, that's kind of hypocritical because there's a lot of adult games on Steam.
Yeah, don't they
Now
have like
you
they
guys
got
notice
breast and hentai games?
Steam-
and all other
Steam
crazy
has
shit?
an entire adults
Freaking
only
restrictions.
has an adults only
But
section
now,
that
here's the
that is
kicker.
unbelievable.
The adults only section on Steam is walled off, and you have to do things to get to it.
Well, yeah, you got to put in your age, but
Yeah, it's stuff like
But what's
that.
the
But
difference?
it's that it takes him away. You know, I don't feel like he was going for an adults only type of game. I think he was going for, definitely going for an 18, level game. But I don't think he was going because the game itself doesn't even seem to be gratuitous as far as with sex and all that.
no,
it's not
there's just boobs in it.
yeah, because now speaking of me, coming from the military, I wasn't a boxer, but I did do combative. So it's like I never really professionally fought other than what I had to do for when I was in the army. But when I got home, I wanted to see some titties. I'm sorry for the show. I wanted to see boobs. I wanted to see, I wanted to see my girl naked. I wanted to drink. I'm drinking right now. I wanted to be able to, freely live as a guy. You know what I'm saying? When I came from war at 22, I went with my guys to the strip club. That was what we did, to go look at some boobs, because I just spent the year with nothing but
Stateside
guys.
sucks. I can never go to one.
I just
again.
spent the year in the
I
shit
got spoiled overseas.
with nothing but guys. There was like one female in S1 and maybe one
It
in
didn't matter
S2.
how she looked either.
And
It was queen.
you had deployment goggles on. That's how he looked at it. The whole thing was, and she was cool. It wasn't like somebody we wanted to, have sex with, but this was our sister we're thinking about. We're not thinking about her like we want to see your boobs. No, because we see your boobs every day because we're shower all together. We all live together. That's not what we think about. But when I come home, I want to see some boobs sliding around a pole. I want to drink. I want to, I want to enjoy myself being a guy without going overboard, obviously.
Amen.
But, once I get off, when I came from Iraq, this is what I want to do. So I could assume as a boxer, when you're trying to, you're out there, you're fighting, you're doing things. And then when you finish, you get that person, the first thing you want to do is enjoy guy stuff, because you just did some guy stuff, with all this here, the thing you want to do is enjoy yourself as a guy, and let's say it's gay. Okay, cool. You got a gay guy. He wants to enjoy things as a gay guy. Either way, you either want to see something naked in front of you, man or woman, however you choose to, identify yourself, but that's how you roll. But with this game, this is what he was choice. He was a heterosexual male, came from boxing. I want to see boobs. And that makes sense in the story. So
Yeah, it does.
I want his.
I mean, it's in every mature movie out there.
Movies for guys who like movies.
I mean, what? Like, I was on.
Exactly.
Six. Was it?
What was that one? Wolf from Wall Street, freaking snoring
Yep.
up the girl's asshole and shit. Like,
That was Jonah Hill. That was Jonah Hill.
Like, you're gonna, I don't get it. You know, what if you made a Wolf from Wall Street game? It's got to be
if
like,
I have
sex
the
is
pleasure,
real. People be
yes,
fucking and screwing people, and
if I have the
if
pleasure
you're in a
of getting it.
drug-ridden world in a fantasy movie, you're gonna have guns and sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Vanilla
rocket
Beast,
science.
you know, grants me the
And it
pleasure
sells.
of doing Retro Knockout on the Bash Box, I want the uncut version. I want the director's cut. I want his version. His original vision is going to come to the box, and and that's where I remember a while ago, before I actually announced the Bash Box, I was trying to get a hold of him because I knew what happened. I knew what was going down with Jong, and I was like, look, you know, if whoever could find Vanilla Beast, get to this guy with really, you know, as fast as possible.
I'm even more excited about the Bash Box now. I mean, man, with your passion for
it. I don't necessarily want gratuitous porn. You know, if that's what you're going to put there, and if you have an audience for it, this is the place for you, and let them get the two, because you know it's not my cup of tea, but there is an audience for hentai games. There's an audience for parody games where
there's
just
an
random
audience for the director's cut of Retro Knockout.
As long as they're over 18, I don't care, and that's all I care about.
That's up to the parent. You know, like you're not.
No, I
mean,
in the game
and going.
If
here's some bullshit.
No. I mean,
parents got to be responsible, and
even as far as the content in the game, as long as it's not depicting children and minors, then I'm okay.
I mean, there's what do you call it, legality and ethics and all that stuff. You don't touch children. You don't portray things that are just what we would consider beyond forgivable and social taboo.
Right.
You know.
I mean, because you're going to have
incest and that kind of shit. Like, no, you don't do that.
We have a game that's coming out that's all about killing. I mean, it's Brass Hollow Point, but it's a first-person shooter. It's going to have killing in it. And to me, that's my vision. That's what I want to put out there. I don't particularly have a vision where it involves a bunch of women, and maybe I will in the future, maybe I don't. But that's not my vision. But that's not for me to say somebody else's vision, like Retro Knockout, for example. Won't have something that makes sense within the story that people want to play. People want to play Retro Knockout because the game itself is fun. It's a really good game.
It is a fun game.
Nobody, you know, it's the boobs of the story will make sense with the story. But to be quite honest with you, I'd probably personally skip it because I don't like games with stories. I just want to get in and play the game. So that's just me in particular. But there is a market for this. And I want the developers to feel like you have full artistic creative freedom, short of anything dealing with kids. Have at it. And you go from Manhunt, for example, probably one of the best. That was one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
Thrill Kill. I don't know if you've ever played Thrill Kill before it became Wu-Tang Challenge style.
Well, that game never got released, right?
It didn't, but it was leaked. So, you know, people played Thrill Kill, but
so
Wu-Tang,
people who don't know what we're talking about, if this is correct or not correct, correct me. It was a game on the PlayStation.
Yep, PlayStation 1.
And it was not released, and it was basically their answer to Mortal Kombat. And you know, and what I mean by answer to Mortal Kombat was the gratuitous violence of it. But I would say it was like more of like a Power Stone.
Somebody to death with an arm.
It was definitely
like arm off, and
it was more Power Stone than Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it was like a Power Stone meets Mortal Kombat, and I say this because of the way the finishers were and stuff like that.
And
but
you
had like
controversial characters
around,
the way you move around in the game,
like a lady in BDSM gear.
Yeah,
you know.
But Wu-Tang, but if you really play Thrill Kill and then go back and play Wu-Tang Shaolin style, not the normal 9 members, the actual hidden characters, they're all the same people. They all still have the same fighting styles. I actually went back not too long ago and played this and really paid attention to it because there was you know, I main Jizza on Wu-Tang, but his counterpart Wuji, it does the same moves, but then there's a whole subset of other characters who fight just like the people from Thrill Kill. So when I was playing, I went back and played Thrill Kill later. Then it was a little bit different. It was like, all right, you know, I went in there and I knew what I was doing because I was playing Thrill Kill. See, that's an actual Wu-Tang Shaolin style move. And that character right there, that is Jizza. That's how Jizza fights on the game. So they're the same characters. And I particularly love Wu-Tang Shaolin style. It's one of my favorite games. So And the gratuitous violence makes sense in the game itself, and that's what's the key. It's that Mortal Kombat couldn't be as gratuitous as this game because that's not how it plays. You can't. But Time Killers, for example, is one of the better examples where you cut off somebody's arm, but it makes sense in the gameplay because that's how the game plays. You can fight with another arm. And
so
then,
back in the day, you would get this game by downloading it,
Yep.
Like LimeWire or whatever no, what was it?
Kazaa, Morpheus.
Kazaa Morpheus.
Yeah,
like it.
You're talking old school when you say
Yeah,
Kazaa Morpheus.
Yeah.
So Thrill Kill was the first first game for PlayStation 1 that I actually ever pirated. And it was very much the right first game pirating.
But would it be pirating if the devs were like, well, I guess it would be because Sony owned it and they released it without their permission because
Sony didn't own it.
They never made it to publishing.
Virgin owned it, but Virgin got it denied. Right. It wasn't until Activision came in. Activision took the whole engine, turned it to Wu-Tang, and only cut it somewhat. They only cut the...
But to go back, what we're seeing now was never released, and we had to go online and get it because the dev leaked it, right?
Yep. Yeah, okay. And that dev, and I think they only did that because Wu-Tang came in, and then when Activision took it over, it's the same game. It's just different costumes.
I never knew that.
The exact same engine. That last character you had shown, I think it was Tormentor. That's Jizza. That's as a whole fighting style. That's how he plays. So when I went and played Thrill Kill, went back and played, I was like, oh, I could do the same combos. The game is the same. It's literally the same game, different costumes, different stages. And it's awesome. A good game. It's really a good game. So, for me in particular, I like games where the devs are able to express their artistic vision. Plus, with Bashbox, shameless promotion, devs are going to get, they're going to get 90% of their income back. Whatever I can do to help devs get their stuff out there without having to go through the red tape of the Sonys, the Nintendos, the Xboxes. Because Mensa, you know what I go through just with dealing with Xbox, dealing with Nintendo. So it's not like it's an easy process because they have stringent QA with their titles, which they should, and that's fine. And it's not that we don't have QA. It's that I'm allowing devs more freedom to be themselves because that's what I want. I'm making this box, and I'm it's a recurring theme where I always say I'm selling to myself. I'm selling these things to myself. This is for me. I'm building this not just for everybody else. I'm building for myself. This is what I want in the system. And I've always been told, oh, if you want it your way, you got to do it yourself. I can do it myself, huh? All right, cool. I was fortunate to be blessed with guys who also believe in my vision, who want to help me make this come through. And that's the key to this all too. But I'm selling this product to myself.
Mm-hmm.
If I wouldn't want to buy it, I wouldn't want to sell it.
So it's got that rock chip in it, right? The Iircade 3588. Right?
We're not using the S model. And now performance-wise, the S model boards, the 3588S, from what I've seen, isn't a big difference. It's just a big difference in how it accesses more RAM. So from what I understand is that they having an 8 gig system with the Iircade 3588S versus the 3888. The 3888 is better. So the S is in most systems out there now. It's going to be in the At Games, the Legends 4K, the Pinball 4K. That's what they're using. They're using the S model.
So when I was looking up these chipsets, because there's a lot of buzz, either it be positive or haters.
Right.
Well, what makes this different than like an Alibaba thing, right? And I was looking, and ours is you have something, on the rock, and it says a core. Yeah. What is the core? What defines the Iircade 3588, and it's got like an octa core or a hexa core or a dual core. What is the cores?
It's buzzwords. So cores in processing is almost like having back in the day where you were cool if you had 2 Pentium 4 processors in your CPU. It's because back then it wasn't really multitasking. It was faked really good, but now with multitasking being more prevalent, each CPU has the capacity to act as multiple CPUs doing multiple things at the same time. So each core can be handling different
So
be having different tasks. So if you
so
take something like main,
the act games
Mhm.
rock I'm saying this right, correct, right?
the rock ship,
Yeah, so theirs is a what core?
it should be the same 8 core. I'm only speaking of 3588. So I know that 3399 was a 4 core process, and for at the time it was actually really good for what it could do. You know, it was about
And
the same.
what core do they hold?
The 33, it was 4 core. It's basically the 3399 that was in
Theirs
the
is a
Legends.
4.
Yeah, that
And
was in the old
what
one.
is the bash box?
The Bash Box is an 8 core,
8
but
core.
their new
And
ones,
that would be octa.
yeah,
Okay.
octa core.
So you
Now
have a
their new
4
ones are going to
core
have the same ones. Yeah,
and a octa. Does that mean it's 4 times faster, or is that just the same?
so
Or not a thing?
just talking about the old ones, it's about it's you can't really say 4 times faster just because it had 4 core, because
Yep.
3399 to the 3588 is a huge jump.
Mhm.
It's almost the equivalent of going from Super Nintendo to GameCube, and it's that level of jump. So with the new, the ALP pinballs, that's probably the best example of processing that's comparable, but it's only using 4 gigs of RAM. So for pinball, just running at 1080p and going doing what it's doing, it'll run pretty smooth, but it'll only run pinball pretty smooth. It's not going to run anything better.
So the ad games has a 4.
No. The old one has a 4. The new ones.
What's the
are
current
same
one? 8.
It's got the same. It's got a similar processor to the Bash Box.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're running equivalent.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
We just have more RAM in ours than they have in the pinballs.
So we're both running a octa core,
Mhm.
and the Bash Box is sporting more RAM.
Right.
How much RAM does the Bash Box have?
The Bash Box has 8 gigs of RAM.
And how much would the At Games variant have?
From my current understanding, it's 4 gigs. I'm also considering a model with 16 gigs. I'm waiting for a couple of people to tell me if it's worth it for the end user. Because Mensa, you know me, what I'm trying to do right now, but it's the goal is to keep the prices as down as possible. And right now, with the board the way it is, that's why I have it at $250. And then even then, we almost had to increase the price because when I talked to the manufacturer, I was like, we don't have a controller with this. Like, how are we going to sell a game console without a controller? And they were like, that might cut into profits. I said, I don't give a shit. We cannot sell a console without a controller. And that was just my whole thing. I feel like, users might want keyboard and mouse too, but that they can go get on their own, but it has to at minimum come with a controller.
You should have a Bash Box branded mouse and controller to buy as a separate accessory if people want.
Now I'm considering this,
That's an idea.
Especially since I've been talking with people out of India, and India, for some weird reason, is becoming increasingly more excited about the system. It's weird, I think it's because when I talked to them, they said it's a huge underserved market. They don't really have, Nintendo might drop something in there because they feel like it, but they have Xboxes here and there, but they don't have what we have here. And they would, a lot of people out in India, they're the ones that's making these games because it's cheap labor. You can get somebody out in India to do Need for Speed Underground. That's, this is the actual story. Somebody did Underground for it at total was maybe $30,000. And to get an American person at that same amount, that $30,000 is only 2 months, is only a month's salary. So that's why they go to India for this. And I'm like, well, if you can make these games for people like EA, for people like Capcom, for people like Square Enix, why don't you do it for yourself? You know what I mean? So when I talked to those guys out in India, I said, well, if you want, the person I talked to, I said, why don't you work on your own storefront? You keep everything in India, keep everything in-house. I'll supply you with Bash Boxes. I'll put those Indian stores on the Bash Boxes for you guys, and if you make your own games.
So if you had your way,
Mhm.
which I know you will, you are looking to have the Google Play Store on the Bassbox, correct?
Right.
And I guess you said you'll get your license or have your license or whatever.
Working on that right this
authorize.
second. So we're authorized to use it. We just have to integrate it in our new UI, which isn't done yet, but it's getting there. So people have seen the new UI and understand where it's super progressing now. So,
and with that, you will are you looking to have what you consider to have exclusive licenses on the Bassbox?
I would. Now with licenses, I'm going to let those stay with within the global match platform with Unico, because I want to, it was cool getting the licenses we currently have, and that's because of my existing relationship with those guys. But I want to focus on the indie scene. I want to focus on these devs who don't have an easy way to get their stuff out there. They just have.
I understand that, but are you saying that? I know you can't say what, but are you saying that there are licenses
on the Bassbox?
On the Bassbox,
yes, very much so.
That you're going to have games that are licensed.
Yeah, yeah,
on the Bassbox.
Very much so. So we have about
that makes
12
it
right now.
So legal wise, that makes it 100% different than something you could go on Alibaba and get.
Exactly. So I think that's the misconception.
Are these going to now, Bill? Are these going to be pack-in games?
So yes and no. I'm trying to see how much I could say about the games we have.
I'll answer.
There's two games.
I'll answer for you. As you know, Bill is a developer with his crew, so we have Bash games.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at options there. As far as the other games, I wouldn't necessarily consider them packaged, but they will be authorized to receive on the unit, no different than if you were to buy. Think of how John was going to do his.
I'm thinking of.
his
I'm actually right now picturing a delivery system similar to that of the Iircade. That's what I'm thinking of in terms of games, but just done the right way. Because see, with Bill and with you guys, I'm sitting here thinking I can't wait to review this thing, because in my mind, I'm like, this sounds like the thing something that we've all been waiting for. It sounds like something that's going to be legit, that's going to allow indie companies to put out stuff. It's going to allow Bash to actually publish titles that they want to publish and make it reasonable and viable for consumers that want these types of things.
Yeah.
And you're all about your fellow devs. So I mean, it's a win-win no matter how you look at it.
Think of the Bassbox with the concept of right to repair. You own your unit. What you do with your unit is your business. Of course, within restrictions that gives us, you break it open and you're doing whatever. Right. That doesn't necessarily mean we're like, hey man, that's on you. But no one's coming for you. You're we're not gonna just turn around and go, oh, you weren't supposed to do that. It's yours.
An exclusive.
What you can and can't do. But so we can use common sense, and you can understand what can and can't be done in the Android scene.
So let's look at it like this. I'm trying to get as close to not giving a user the license to play, just a license to play the game, versus ownership of what you currently have.
So I'm trying to get DRM.
Now, DRM, to where I have to put DRM on, is going to be there. So, no Bash games will have DRM, and that's just my preference. I'd rather not put DRM on any of my titles. I don't even give a shit if you pirate it. I'm pretty sure there's at least 100 people out there who pirate bowling right now, because I've seen, just last time I checked earlier, it was like 1,200 people on there. So I'm pretty sure people are pirating bowling, because my numbers ain't matching up with my sales. But I don't give a shit. I'll support them anyway. I'd rather you play the game because
I was happy to buy bowling just to support you, Bill. That's all I got to
Oh,
say.
yeah.
I mean, in
I
all
appreciate
honesty, I mean, it's one of those things. But the thing is, I'm picturing right now, like an old man Ruckus branded controller with a perfect D-pad. Like I got this vision in my head right now.
So
Of
I
like
don't know if
this-
you've seen. I don't know if you've seen the controller. The controller was super tested by me because you remember I come from the FGC, so I'm playing games like King of Fighters 13, 14, and 15, pretty regularly. I play Street Fighter 6 regularly. I play Mortal Kombat 1 regularly. These are my titles, so this has to work with these games. So, obviously, I don't have a lot of those on there other than through Game Passing, cloud streaming, or Moonlight. But when I'm playing this, these have to work. And because it has to work, I need to be able to do my combos the way I need to. I need to be able to get my frame perfect links in, especially with King of Fighters 15. I need to be able to play like I play normally. So this controller was designed, once again, I'm selling something to myself. So, at the same time, I had my kids test out the N-Log sticks. They play Roblox like religiously. So I just handed them the controller and said, hey, play Roblox, let me know how it is. And my son stole my dev kit, so I'm gonna need that back tomorrow so I get back to work. But that's what we do.
That's wild. This is that title shit. And
nice.
Tell me if I misread this. Dated 2020 October.
Right.
3 years from that would be what?
2023,
right?
Right.
What game is in question? Let's go down to the bottom. We are talking about, it's pretty lengthy.
Space Invaders of Vintage Gene.
Y'all remember when that, and as we stated before, y'all remember when that came out? Before or after the original Space Invaders game?
So Space Invaders is a little bit tricky with licensing, only because I'm dealing with it currently. So a little bit of transparency. So how, the side works. Space Invaders isn't owned solely by Taito anymore. It's owned by Taito and Square Enix. So when there's a situation like this, where the IP is owned by multiple companies, then both companies you have to have two separate contracts with both companies. So when I started working on title I was getting back then, I was getting back to Wu-Tang. We couldn't license it because there's music copyrights, and that was fine. But Activision actually owns the engine of the game that they bought from Virgin. So Activision told us no, while RZA told us yes, because RZA owns everything Wu-Tang. So RZA said yes. I went through his brother Divine, and they, it was actually a really good conversation. I went through it. Another guy, his name is Adam Goldberg, and he's really dope dude. And he said, like, Activision might tell you no, but at least on our end, we're cool with it. And, let us know how we can help you, and we got your back. So, it was super dope being able to talk to those guys, but Activision said no. And I don't think they said no because of that at that point, because one, they wanted $100,000. I don't have $100,000. I got $100. And two, they were working on different licensing with at games at the time too. There's something they couldn't tell me about, but just the timing of it just felt like this is probably what was happening. I worked on Activision titles when I was with At Games, so there's NDA stuff I can't talk about. But as far as licensing, I don't know how that worked with PK and those guys. But
how much did you drink?
They were. How much did I drink? Not a lot.
Huh?
Not a lot.
Yeah. You missed the point.
What? Oh, yeah.
You see this?
Yep.
This? When did this come out?
Did it come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the original Space Invaders. When did Space Invaders come out?
I remember Space Invaders I remember was coming out because I remember Mike, we were going to work on Space Invaders. So Ryan was actually tasked with Space Invaders. And then we looked at how we were going to do it. We actually found a way to do it. But
Michael took all the credit and he built it from scratch from Unity, he said.
Sorry,
right?
He did. Yeah,
right.
That's what wound up happening.
Right?
Mike bought it, did it from scratch.
So Unity. It dropped around August or something, right? The original Space Invaders?
Yep.
Around that time. And then this game came in after. In 2023. So you're telling me that they only had about 5 months to legally sell this game, and they continued to sell this game if they didn't get it renewed.
Yeah, they would have had to October of last year, a few months ago.
Well, damn, what was it still in the store? Because I don't remember seeing it in the store.
I don't remember seeing it.
It was gone, along with Double Dragon.
Nobody mentioned it because it came out for sure. Is it? I remember.
I had it and got refunded on it. So yeah.
It's because it's not that great. If they were going to do a game, if they were going to do a Space Invaders,
you're another liar, dude. It was a 30 out of fucking 10. The fuck you on?
It was a buggy, poorly coded piece of crap.
Bullshit.
That's what
it was pure perfection. Every single sound was exactly as I remembered it.
No, that's the original Space Invaders. We're talking about the Infinity Gene. Infinity Gene was a horrible game.
No, this game too. This is a classic. I had this shit on my flip phones before Android was a thing. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, I did have it on my Razor flip phone too.
I had it. I was playing it on a COVID test.
Awesome. I had it before the Razor was a thing. I had the old school Motorola candy bar, right? I had it hacked, and it allowed me to use my camera as a video phone. So it upgraded me to a Razor. Cool story.
Oh man!
Back when Nokias were like $700 fucking dollars, and they were the best non-smartphones there were, though.
Oh man!
Here. Yes, I supported their Kickstarter. I will talk to. Oh,
nice.
It's on my.
I want you guys to know Prince Malcolm is the man. I believe it's because he was underutilized, underappreciated with Iircade.
Clearly, he was.
We went to him and said, "Look, everything you did for Iircade, could you do for us?" Because he was getting some stuff over, and the challenge I know he's facing right now is the fact that because he was doing so much for Iircade, now he's doing it for Bash, and it's like, well, we trusted you once with Iircade, and it's not his fault. Because Prince Malcolm is also a super defender of developers. Now, a lot of times people don't know he does developer retweets and tries to get developer engagement in the indie scene. So it's like, it's not just him trying to get them on one system or another. He's really trying to get indies out there. And he's also trying to get gamers to see games from a different light. A lot of these indie developers, sometimes they're just like, all right, I'm gonna get my game on Steam, I'm gonna get my game on Switch, and we go from there. But, for the most part, what Prince does is he goes out and talks to these guys and he tries to get them to engage, not just with just the Bash box. He really tries to get them to engage with each other. Say, look, I try to bring indie devs together because you guys make great games and we want people to play them. We want people who wouldn't have otherwise be able to play them, get them out there, as well as devs who otherwise wouldn't have a channel to produce their games.
Exactly.
Or they'll default to Steam. And Steam is not guaranteed. Just because the PC has a larger user base doesn't mean people are going to buy it. And that's where he tries to get that engagement in. So, Prince has been very, very, very underutilized within the Iircade sector. So now it's like, all right, Prince, can you talk to this guy? Every time I see a cool ass game, I'll tag Prince and be like, hey man, give me a conversation with this guy or something. Like, I need this game in a Bash box. But you know what I mean? It's that, people really slept on the art of talking to people to say, hey, I want everybody to engage. Of course I want these games on the Bash box. I'm representing Bash, but I want you guys to talk. Speaking of which, Monday I'm going to talk to your man Tavares Johnson. I'm trying to get a hold of him and see if we can get something going too, because I've seen his work on LinkedIn. I keep saying I'm going to talk to him. So I'm making it a plan to talk to him on Monday after I talk to these guys from India. But I'm definitely going to get with those guys.
Yeah, he's definitely hungry. And then I don't know if you saw the conversation, but he's trying to develop a Robotron light game. So I've seen his work. So I think this game is gonna be pretty sharp that he's coming up with.
Oh yeah.
And then go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I see his stuff on LinkedIn. Now LinkedIn is where I put a little more information out there because that's where LinkedIn is where I'm more known. That's where investors I talk to. It's really for business rather than putting out to the public. So I see his stuff the same way, and he's got some stuff like, oh man, every time I see it, I'm like, man, I got to link with this guy, and I always get busy. I always get wrapped up on stuff, and then it'll hit like 6:00, and I'm like, damn, I don't want to bug him now, but I'm definitely going to link with this guy. Like Monday, I made it. It's in my Outlook calendar when I get to the office on Monday to say I'm going to talk to Tavares no matter what. I'm gonna slip him a line, say, hey man, if you know, just drop my number, say, hey, when you get a chance, just give me a buzz. You know, I really like to talk to you. I apologize if you think I'm blowing you off, because it's definitely not that.
Right. Yeah. Let me just do a quick little spiel real quick for you for you independent developers out there in AAA game studios. If you're looking for the best investment of your life, if you're looking for a golden opportunity, the golden ticket to ride the express train, hop on board with Bashbox right now. This is the greatest opportunity that you'll ever get. Your games will never be buried on the Nintendo Switch store, which is a mess. The PlayStation store, where there's tons of AAA titles, and Steam, where you'll never find your game. The Bashbox is the ultimate opportunity. It's for devs. It's by one of the greatest creators here that's on the Bash team, the CEO himself, Bill McLaughlin. And then you have a whole boat of others that are in the community that is here to pitch this machine. So, like, if you're looking for an opportunity to do something great, to make some monetary, bring your game some notoriety, come to the Bashbox.
Oh yeah.
It's an awesome pitch, brother.
And I'm really trying. At first when I started this, I was going to different people for licensing. This guy.
Welcome to Deadpool's head.
Oh my god. But yeah, I was looking at AAA studios. I stopped. And the reason why I stopped is because I got 30 different ways to play Street Fighter. I have 100 different ways to play Street Fighter 2. You know, I have a bunch of different ways to play Call of Duty. And yeah, it's cool. We can play Call of Duty mobile on here. You can play PUBG. You can play those type games, Rocket League, stuff like that. I stopped going to AAA studios. The reason why I stopped going to AAA studios is because I already have a PlayStation 5. I already have an Xbox Series X. I already have a Nintendo Switch. I don't necessarily want those. And the games that I do find myself playing on Nintendo Switch, on Xbox, because that's just my preferred console. I'm playing Final Vendetta a lot. That I haven't really enjoyed it. It was I forgot what the game was called that I started playing. I bought on Nintendo Switch to talk to a different guy that Prince Malcolm actually put me onto. So I bought the game on Switch. I dumped it, and then I put it on the Yuzu emulator on the Bashbox to show those guys.
Jitsu Squad.
Yeah, I've been playing that like crazy the past couple of days.
Really good.
Like it's a super dope game.
Yeah,
I've been playing. It's another game that Prince put me down with, Diesel Legacy, and
yes,
I've been training that game. Probably that's what I was doing right before I got on the stream. That's why I'm so late to the stream anyway. But I was playing that game because it's a fighting game, so it's like it's already up my alley. But these are games I want to see on the Bashbox. These are games I feel like they would have a better chance to shine if they had their own place to go. I stopped looking to the Capcoms. I stopped going. One, I don't have the money anyway, so I don't want to make it seem like I got like millions of dollars.
These are games you need to have script kiddies do engine dumps or image dumps with and whatnot, right?
And even
you buy them legally,
yeah,
and you have them on the Bashbox, right?
And to be quite honest with you, even if they do, cool. The Bashbox is for you too.
Yeah, it's yours to do what you want with, right?
You can put Battle Stereo in there all you want to. For me personally, it's just that when I play RetroArch, it didn't work well as much as it did with the standalone emulators.
So what I'm hearing is that the Bashbox isn't necessarily themed or marketed for those that want to buy something straight from a warehouse market and then put their own dump images on and then resell for higher value. Instead, this is for consumers who want something straight out of the box, literally plug and play,
right?
And to have in their homes.
Exactly. I want people to be able to get it and play. If you want to dump ROMs and play them on there, but it's going to be easy to do. If you are somebody who can just load up a Battle Sarah image, because when Bobby Vu puts his up there, I'm pretty sure it's going to be super dope. Then do it. I want you get a Bashbox, you feel like you can do whatever you want. You feel like
really?
I know these like Marvels are the worst.
I didn't see the I saw a little bit of the Flash, but I didn't see the Marvels. But I'm kind of surprised at that, honestly.
I think the
It
Marvels.
looked like the Marvels would be a fun movie, but see, I don't go into this with.
I didn't like the Marvels, and I didn't like the Flash. I didn't like either one of those movies. So
I like the Marvels.
I like bad shit. So because when I watch it, I don't watch it with too much of a bias. I mean, bad is bad. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I don't think something's bad because it had this particular actress in it that didn't meet my vision. You know what I'm getting at.
Now you also got to think that my definition of bad. There was a reason why I stopped working on Tank Bash, and that game was like going like hotcakes. Everybody loved Tank Bash, and I couldn't understand it. Like I was going to do it, but I didn't see. And at the time, I had
I liked it.
This is back when I was still with working with Jeff Rainwater and those guys. I was getting good feedback, but at the same time, it was like different issues where it was it just didn't seem like it would.
I love
be
DC.
a game to go
They're my favorite.
Until Dan actually, me and him were going through QA.
Black Adam was definitely better than the Flash movie. I'll tell you that.
Well, yes, that's true.
I agree. It was better than Flash, but Black Adam looked like a cheap mess, and it deserved
the CGI
better.
was just too much.
It was like.
I'll tell you this about Black Adam. What I feel like with
the
Black
tone,
Adam,
they put like some fuck up filter that made it weird.
I was like, okay, cool. Superman is back, and then what happened?
Now, here's the thing. Here's my unpopular opinion. I think The Rock shot himself in the foot with that movie. And the reason why I think The Rock shot himself in the foot with that movie is because he's getting to a stature to where he's bigger than the film, he's bigger than the material, and there's so much he didn't want to do. And when people see it, Black Adam, I'm talking today's fans of DC and stuff like that. They know Shazam and Black Adam because Black Adam literally says Shazam too to get his powers. Mm-hmm. So that's where people are assuming. And then he didn't want to do a movie with Shazam. He wanted to do a movie with Superman, and neither of them are in movies anymore. And now Superman and Black Adam did have a glorious battle, but that's not where it started. Black Adam was traditionally a problem for
problem is that Shazam, the problem is the actor playing Shazam is a straight up jabroni that shouldn't be employed. It shouldn't be working. He's a complete scumbag, and I hope he never gets another job in acting again. Every time that guy opens his mouth, it is the most cringe thing that you can ever think of.
Mind you, The Rock is my favorite actor, and on pretty much everything. I'm talking back from when he was still.
He's a good entertainer, but I don't think he's great at acting.
Yeah, I think
it's good.
But I think he's a good human being. So I like his work.
Want to work with Shazam? Yeah. I mean, listen. If they would have cast a better actor who would have played the role better for Shazam, I think The Rock.
But he gate kept big time on the DC scene, from what I was hearing. Gate kept like crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? The Rock. Also, as a leader in general, he's somebody that people look to for leadership in general. He's somebody who, they're not just going, they're like, okay, Dwayne, what do we do from here? Where do we go? How do we do this? He could have taken that leadership ability and created a better environment for everybody around him. And he didn't. And I don't even think it was about the money, because it's not like he's hurting for money at all. He had Fast X and Fast 11 coming up. So
I think he is. These actors aren't as rich as they portray. Like, there's a difference between fame and,
Black Adam.
You think I don't know that one?
Black Adam. Black Adam has been in development so long. Think about how long The Rock was trying to get this movie made. Black Adam was in development when The Rock was still called Rocky Maivia.
He's well off, but
I mean.
But you got to understand, his cost of living is through the roof. A lot of you guys are better off than a lot of these celebrities. Believe it or not, it's true.
Oh, I know.
Just because you have a larger house doesn't mean you're living that great. Like the smart ones live comfortable.
We might listen, Mikey D. We might get more Snyderverse if all I got to do is sell Snyderverse to Netflix.
Now,
that's all.
Let me tell you, I'm a Snyderverse fanboy. Snyder had a fucking vision. He was gonna do that whole injustice shit. It was going on point. Mm-hmm. The Snyder's version. Look what happened, man. I'm gonna go there. Look what happened between his version and that other Boys version, the
Yeah.
one that Cyborg actor was talking about.
Yep.
When Snyder brought his shit back, first off, it made an actual fucking movie.
Yep.
And then he added at least 5 fucking additional black fucking characters
Guys,
back to the fucking movie.
I'm writing a book about this shit.
The
Snyderverse
Cyborg's
is
father, I forgot his name.
great.
He had a whole fucking dialogue. They
Yeah.
added the Flash's girlfriend up in that fish. They added his fucking mom. They added the Atom dude, Asian dude. Like, dude, they added like 7 fucking actors. Oh, and then Green Lantern at the fucking end that was supposed to be in it, and freaking
Martian
Black March. Like, come on, man.
See, Warner Brothers, and it's the thing. Warner
That guy
Brothers
was a jerk.
Warner Brothers wouldn't allow Snyder. He shot the scenes with Green Lantern, okay, and Warner Brothers wouldn't allow Snyder to use Green Lantern in the Snyder cut of Justice League.
That's crazy.
Tell me the dialogue from his father didn't go hard. Didn't go hard. Especially, hey, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That Flash scene was like, yo,
Fire.
It would have been like movie scene of the fucking year if it went through. It went from, it's Vita's way, and then you had like one of the fucking, in the other guy's version, and you had one of the hardest fucking scenes in comic book movies when that dude went back in the past and shit. That shit went hard. I don't give a fuck what anybody
That's who
says.
Snyder was giving us.
Slow mo.
That's who Snyder was giving us. Snyder was giving us John. Snyder was giving us John.
I gotta interrupt you guys. You gotta see what Bobby Vu just put up on Facebook. He just tagged me and you in it.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, Zack Snyder, man, this guy is incredible. Ever since I saw the remake of Dawn of the Dead 2004,
Yes.
oh, and then like I think they used him in an episode of what's the other DC show that's on HBO with John Cena?
Peacemaker.
Yeah, I think it's episode number 4.
That crappy James Gunn TV show. Oh
no, but look, episode 4 of Peacemaker, I think, was directed by Zack Snyder, and it was so similar to the Dawn of the Dead zombie scene with the whole those moth creatures going into people's noses and controlling them. Oh man, what would you do? What would you do without DC Universe, without Zack Snyder? Like, it's
every movie that DC has put out since they got rid of Zack Snyder has tanked horribly. Every single movie is done bad. They all want to blame Snyder for all the problems, but here's the truth. Snyder hasn't been at DC for like 8 years.
Right.
Snyder's been gone. They let him come back to finish the Snyder cut because he agreed to do it as long as he didn't get paid. He just wanted to get it out there.
Snyder had the best iteration of the top 3 in movie fucking history. Those guys were classic. And if James Gunn does this right, here my vision. He would do the version of God damn it. I'm sorry.
Superman Reborn?
No. It was an older comic one where Superman had gray hair. Oh fuck, I forgot.
Kingdom Come.
Don't
count on James Gunn to do that.
No, not James Gunn.
Goofy.
But well, I understand that. But imagine if, just to give him a proper sign off, it had the last 3 actors, because I'm tipsy, so I can't.
Oh yeah, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Gal Gadot.
And then them doing the Kingdom Come variant, and then then they should have did the whole Flashpoint, shit.
That was the plan. See, that was Snyder's plan. That's what Snyder was going to do. We were going to get the Flashpoint paradox.
Yes.
With
and Injustice.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays Negan in the Walking Dead, was playing Thomas Wayne. Was going to play the Thomas Wayne version of Batman from the Flashpoint universe, and you were going to have all. There was so much stuff that Zach was setting up, and Warner Brothers just pissed it away.
Yep.
That guy who came in to replace him sabotaged the whole fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Sabotaged it.
Turned it into a comedy.
Yeah,
a comedy.
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Yeah.
From Marvel.
Oh, he sliced and diced that movie bad.
It was disgusting. Pisses me off.
It made no sense. It made
none.
Absolutely.
It was all over the place.
Mhm.
And then you see the Zack Snyder shit, and you're like, "Yo, this is a real movie."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so dope. It was so dope. That's why it was 4 hours
The
long. 'Cause
flow
it was
was
dope as
great.
hell.
And I guess they got another version where it's like pure black and white. I gotta watch
Yeah,
that.
the black and white version's really
Yeah.
good. You see
Oh,
it
man.
black and white.
It makes sense.
Zack Snyder said that's his preferred way to watch the movie.
I think it should be. I mean, don't get me wrong. The color was just brilliant, but I could see why it was black and white because that's like kind of like the callback. That's the whole DC versus like kind of like a 1950 dystopia, you know.
It was cool.
I am one with the few that did not care for the Guardians 3.
Me too.
I didn't watch it yet. I saw the
Guardians
clips.
James Gunn is trash. That's the truth. James Gunn is trash, and his Superman legacy is gonna flop worse than these last 4 DC movies, man. You know, nobody went to see Aquaman. They was all like, you know what? You guys are clown. Nobody has gone to see any of these movies. They've been flopping so bad, it's ridiculous. But they want to blame.
I think it's a burnout.
Snyder. They want to blame Snyder for everything.
Superhero fatigue.
Yeah,
they're calling
because
yeah,
someone made a point before about this, but that it ruined the whole. I guess the action scene or whatever. But I agree when I finally understood what they're talking about. Because think about this. Back in the day, when you saw a movie, you were to go see Tom Cruise. You were to go see Sylvester Stallone. All this other stuff, right? These were, Tom Cruise is literally the last action hero. And this is because now if you go to see a Marvel movie, you're not going there to go see you're going to go see the characters.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, Robert Downey's a cool dude and all, but he's replaceable. Like in the Marvel universe.
Of course.
He is. That's why they're doing all this variant shit and the cop out of the time crap, It excuses poor writing,
all this multiverse BS. Yeah.
I like the multiverse stuff, but you got to make it.
It's got to be done right. And Zack Snyder
be done right.
Give us that when he gave us Darkseid, because think about it. There's only one Darkseid in DC. Yeah. No matter how many multiverses there are, there's only one Darkseid.
A lot of people don't.
And people don't have no.
Well, a lot of people don't understand Darkseid. They just think he's kind of like a Thanos, and Darkseid would stomp him because people don't understand Darkseid is a 4th dimensional fucking creature, and you never seen fucking the real Darkseid, and he will whomp everybody in the fucking real. There's no touching him.
Real Darkseid.
Yeah,
Benson, you got to see. You got to see these posts, man. They're blowing up.
See, well,
Benson, you got to see these posts. They're blowing up.
I did. I put it up. But
no, I mean, you got to see this post from Bobby Vu.
I did. I put it up.
Oh, yeah, man. I can't wait to see what he shows off on this one because it's crazy.
Yeah, he says we're currently working on something.
So talented,
stay tuned.
It's insane.
That's good stuff.
Bobby is like
good job,
Bobby's
and that's what we want from the devs.
Oh yeah. All right, you guys, gotta let you go. I gotta get ready for my daughter's party tomorrow.
Right.
Zard Ryder, always a pleasure, man.
Bill, I'm gonna reach out to you, man, and get you on that Q&A, man. And I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the Bash Box.
You give me the time, man, and I'm there.
All right, man. I got
Prince Benson, I'll see you in the chat. Love you guys.
Right. Yeah, Aquaman. Me and the wife went to the iPic Theater. If you're not familiar with that,
not yet.
It's like a fancy bistro theater where you have all seats and quilts and stuff.
Is that where they like the one where they serve you the food? You have the recliner chair and you get all your drinks and everything. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, we went to go check out Aquaman and
not good.
Another comedy.
I heard it was an interesting love story in that movie that probably I don't want to deal with. Turning one of my favorite villains into okay.
It's
how they got to do it.
They ruined Black Manta. They gave us they gave us some stupid subplot, some funny stuff. They had Jason Momoa acting like a buffoon. One moment he was serious, the next moment he was acting like Jason Momoa.
He's a good actor, but this whole shit is overboard. Like, we get it. You're a Hawaiian variant.
You're excited about everything.
Yeah, you don't have
excited just to be alive.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, play serious, man. Because the thing about it is, DC is a serious thing. And I always prefer DC over Marvel.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And, you know, unpopular opinion, you know, was it Prince put up that whole DC anime versus Marvel anime? You ready for this? DC anime is greater than Marvel movies, period.
That's for sure.
The cartoons alone
may
destroy anything I watch from fucking Marvel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Period. And if you watch like from the first iteration of when they're starting this whole thing, every fucking DC movie, one after the other, no matter the story, is following this continuum. And they made it a point to make that realize that when they finally got to the Flashpoint. And then their animation style would change depending on the universe they were depicting to be in. That's crazy. So they will do a purposeful reboot. And when they did that one reboot with Darkseid and stuff, I thought it was like all over. And then they still brought back Reverse Flash, and I was like, "Yo, like they're really connecting all this shit." It's like, "Oh yeah, you remember me from like 3 fucking animes ago? I'm here." I'm like, "What? I didn't know he had anything to do with this shit, but he did." So yeah, it was pretty cool. I think DC anime, like, I think it just, and it kills me because I get it. Live action can't be like live action. Anime can't always be live action.
Yeah,
you gotta
too much money. Do
well, that and the story just doesn't always work with live actors. Their explanations and it just doesn't work. Anime movies always have to be altered some way, somehow, unless you're doing some full-blown CGI thing. It just doesn't work with humans. It just doesn't. I don't know why, but it just doesn't. So I get it. But the storyboard is there. How can you just not emulate? You know, like, come on.
Yeah.
You guys have the story.
It's
you
like,
have
just stick to the fucking script. Like
Superman can outsell Spider-Man any other fucking day, in my opinion.
But
any fucking day. There should be no reason this can't be a winner.
But the answer is the problem is Warner Brothers, man, because they even do it with Mortal Kombat.
I mean, with everything. They're so incompetent. They're the worst studio out there. The rumor is they're up to get sold within the next couple of years
again
to Comcast Universal. Yeah. And it can't happen fast enough.
Do you think they did the right thing dumping the Batgirl movie or Batwoman movie? I think it was the Batgirl movie.
You know,
I don't think they did.
Not even to put it on Netflix. That's crazy.
Like, because it was almost done.
They're not doing anything right. They're making all these wrong decisions, and it just goes to show, because nobody's going to see these movies. Nobody cares about these movies. Batgirl got a bad rep, just like everything else. They, anything that's good they get rid of. Anything that's bad they keep. That's what they do. They're terrible.
But because what's his name? He even backed it. They're one of the OG Batman guy. He backed it and was like, "Yo, it was complete. It was a good movie."
Michael Keaton was in it.
Yeah, Michael Keaton vouched for it and said it was good.
But they didn't want to keep it. And again, I mean, they didn't. The way they asked out Michael Keaton at the end of that Flash movie wasn't really cool either. I mean,
I didn't like that at all.
There was a lot of stuff. There's a director's cut of this Flash movie that we haven't seen yet. That's supposed to have more scenes and actually have scenes with Henry Cavill, Superman.
He was badass. Like, he still got it.
Ben Affleck is supposed to have more scenes in it, and there's supposed to be a lot more scenes with Michael Keaton. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. And then the way that they ended that movie with George Clooney, were they high? I don't know.
They had to be. They were mad.
Oh my God.
They were mad. Like, it made no sense.
Yeah, but along with the fatigue, man, it's just like, just stick to the fucking script. It always works. This is the problem, like what we have with fucking Resident Evil. Like, the games are amazing, but the fucking movies are terrible.
The movie should be slam dunks because of the games. That's the thing that I don't understand too. It's like, you got all this source material you can pull from, and they act like they can't do that.
I think they try to take it so serious when it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, well, because
Maybe that's
everybody
the
has their
problem.
own. Everybody has their own vision, and then the studio wants to dip their toe in and wants to say, "Hey, let's do this, do that."
Look at the
Problem is, they don't let filmmakers make their movies anymore either. They always want to micromanage everything.
what movie have you seen that fits the 90s storyboard? Remember back in the day, like these movies were badass, True Lies, Die Hard, Total Recall. I go on all day, you know what I mean? But these were like original storyboards, in the world of 1940 and blah 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 blah, and a guy from the year 3000. It's just like, okay, cool. And it was just action,
Last Action Hero.
Dude, I love these B-rated movies to the point where I thought they were the greatest. What was that one movie? I Come in Peace. Alien dude, bounty hunter, and literally, it wasn't the movie until they said the movie title. Bad guy alien at the end, because he would go around killing people and he would say, "I come in peace." So he told the good guy, he's like, "I come in peace." And then the good guy at the end shot him with this crazy gun. And he's like, "You leave in pieces."
What movie is that?
I Come in Peace. It was literally called I Come in Peace. And it was a creepy movie too. And the same thing with like what was that movie with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover? Lethal Weapon, right?
Weapon, yeah.
I think it was the second one. Bro, diplomatic immunity. Danny Glover, cock in his neck, same shit. My bad. Same shit. Shoots the dude in the fucking head. And goes, "It's just been revoked." Like, just famous scenes, man. Just love it. And I mean, they live with you, and they had this connection, good cop, bad cop, and it was just, and even though these movies were serious and stuff, they were family oriented, like they were designed to watch with your 8-year-old, as serious as they were.
Sitting around the TV watching Die Hard at Christmas. I mean, come on.
I forgot the name of the actor. He was like this like white comedian actor, but he was with them in Lethal Weapon 2 or 3, and he went to this, and my dad was
Joe Pesci.
And my dad would cite this dude every time because it was a real world situation. Went to the fast food joint and they ripped him off. He's like, "See, that's why you check your food, because they'll fuck you. They'll fuck you all the time." And he was going off in the car. And my dad would call his ass because didn't check the fucking food and drove off. That's why you check your food, because they'll fuck you. I mean, that era, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's nostalgia. And you know what kills me about those movies? The trailers just don't do them justice. I try to show off the trailers to my kids, and it's like, yeah, this is bad. In the world of 2021, where I'm like, yeah, we got to just watch the movie because this isn't going to do any good.
Try
just a little bit. I'm a little bit drunk. Just a little bit drunk. Don't worry, I don't have any fucking licenses to sell you. Let me
when you're not selling licenses, you can afford to drink all the happy juice you want.
Exactly.
Yep.
So let me put this shit up because I keep putting it up. I'm gonna get to this point real quick. I know it's blurry. I didn't get to download it. So I put in I had put up on this on the community page about who's this fucker, right? So last time on this show, I was going off, I went like a whole fucking hour before I got to the point, right? And that it got into with that Mark dude and this and that. Well, come to fucking find out, I have a longer history with this motherfucker than I thought. And this guy was pretty popular in the Iircade fan page, trolling and messing with us. And I would make complaints to John Galante. Now, mind you, this fan page was like a roast page, right? It was pretty much, free for all. You say some shit to me, I say some shit back. It didn't fucking matter, right? Big boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the one big thing was off limits is, talking on people's children and obviously like discrimination, bigotry, bullshit like that, right? Apparently this wasn't a rule set for him. This fucker got booted. This character got booted from the fan page group because of his bullshit. Like, no one got booted from that page. You know what I mean? You had to do some egregious shit to get booted. But this guy got booted. And come to find out, because I didn't catch it, but it was told to me because I thought it was, I'm not speaking on the person, but I thought it was somebody else. You'll see it in the thingy, but it wasn't him. I get told who it was because I made a complaint to the admin. Look who it fucking was. Mr. Lawyer.
Oh, man.
Been trolling me for 3 fucking years. Acting like I'm just some random motherfucker to him.
Wow.
Works for a fucking firm. Being a John fanboy. Trolling. Getting kicked. For obvious reasons. Not by me. And basically lying about the history we have. He's had a long history with me. Trolling. Mark from law school. Thought it was somebody else that you probably saw. And he tells me who it fucking is. I had no idea. But yeah. Once again, fuck you times 2. So no wonder why he's all up in wads. Acting like he doesn't know who, like it's just like he's not the one with the issues, right? Just trolling. And beyond trolling, doing his bullshit acts, saying he said some controversial shit to and discriminatory shit to Hassan in the group. And finally got removed. Yeah, man. And I'll drop it. No, it's not. It's the Mark guy that I complained about. It's not him. It was the last guy that I mentioned before. It's not Zohar. So I'm not going to do that to him. It's not him. I thought it was a long time ago. We're talking, but it's not him. I was told who it was and it didn't click who it was. So I brought him back up because I brought him up last stream. And it's the guy who works for Heavy Metal Titans.
Wait, what?
We'll call him out. Yeah, that Mark Ornskunsky or whatever, the one that got booted from all the groups.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Come to find out, he had that troll account that is very popular in the fan page group. You were never in the group, but he was doing a lot of bad shit in the group, saying some bad shit that got him finally kicked. And like I said, it was a free-for-all group. And so to be kicked from that group means you did some fucked up shit.
Right.
And a lot of actions were against me too. But he's acting like he never, we just met or some shit. And come to find out, it's been him the whole time.
That's bad.
So that's why I put that shit up. So fuck him again. But yeah. DC is my favorite comic. I love it. I think what was the story was DC is basically gods who want to be humans, and Marvel is more like the whole humans trying to become gods. But I just think DC has the better writing. I get Marvel. I really do. I'm a Marvel fan too. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to the connections I feel for DC, it's some deep shit, man. I love Batman. Crazy. I know he gets plot armor, but I love the human aspect that, you know, a human being can win. I love it, love it, love it. Yeah, man, I can't give it enough compliments. And I just wish one fucking day they can make a continuum of what Marvel did for DC. What Marvel gets right is what they've been getting right for the last 10 years. They, thanks to Kevin, they created a series of movies that are connected. And why can't we get this for DC for fucking once in our life?
Because
Why?
the people at DC are reactionary and they listen to a few vocal minority people on social media let that ruin everything. They let the vocal minority derail Zack Snyder. So that's why they decided to do a course correction, which started when Batman v Superman was still in theaters. It started then. They were plotting their course correcting back then because you had a bunch of people on social media talking about, oh, you know, Zack Snyder ruined my childhood. He killed my childhood. That's not my Superman.
It's like the most comic accurate movie I've seen.
Doesn't kill. They made a big deal about when Superman snapped Zod's neck at the end of Man of Steel, but they completely ignore how in the Richard Donner Superman movies, they kill Superman. They kill the Kryptonians. They kill Zod, and they kill them, and they completely ignore that because it's played off more comedically in the Richard Donner movies, but it's still the same thing. I don't.
But what they were not understanding is that Zod was going with Injustice storyline board. Am I wrong? He was going with the Injustice storyboard.
Would have killed every human on Earth. Superman had no choice.
But do you know what I'm speaking about with the Injustice series?
Oh yeah, Injustice. They were going
that route, right?
Yeah, they were headed there with Superman
because he was going to go dark Superman. Superman was going to go dark. Going to flip, and then they were going to do the Flashpoint to reset it.
And then Superman was going to be about hope and justice.
And then Batman was going to die or some crazy shit. And Superman comes back. And, you know, because it was a write-off just like in the other Injustice cartoon and comics where they bring in basically our Superman to stop him. Yeah, but this is another story. But it shows you how human Superman was, even though he was an alien. You know what I mean? Like, this is the whole point to Superman. And Zod had a plan. Or not, I keep saying Zod, god damn it, sorry. Snyder had a plan. I'm drinking kosher wine. and
it's that Concord grape.
Have you ever had this shit?
No.
All right, so let me tell you something. As a kid, you would see wine, right? You had this thing in your head of how wine should taste. Am I wrong? What, as a kid, what does wine taste like to you when you were a child? Like, how should it have taste?
Grape juice.
Like something sweet, something Kool-Aid, and something like Welch's, right?
Yeah.
Bruh. This is the holy fucking grail. This is kosher wine, approved for fucking Passover. And it tastes exactly like fucking Welch's shit. And I'm telling, there is no difference. This is the greatest tasting fucking wine.
Alcoholic Welch's.
It's exactly what it is. Let me see here. Especially sweetened, containing not less than 51% Concord. So it's over half of actual sweetened Concord up in this bitch, and it's approved for Passover.
Well, gentlemen, I gotta head out, but I just wanted to say thanks, man, for letting me come on again, dude.
No, thank you.
It's always fun to chill with you guys. You guys are awesome. Malcolm, I sent you a friend request on Facebook, bro.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm looking forward to more of these.
It's amazing.
You guys are great.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. There we go.
Yeah, that Zod dude is a great actor. Actually, I think he got permission to replay it because he asked Snyder for permission before he did it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's great shit. Movies suck these days. National Security is one of the funniest movies of all time. Is that
Martin Lawrence, and I forgot the other guy's name.
I don't know if I seen
I
this.
forgot his damn name, man. National Security is one of the funniest movies of all time. You like you like National Security better than Blue Streak?
Ooh. I can't even remember the movies right now. I was that guy in the military when I finally drank, and that's when everyone was around me. See here, why does Superman take directions from his hat? Because it's his what the fuck? Ah, you talking about this? Old school, brother. I don't know what it's
We had it at our house parties. Oh man.
What's the
problem? This is a great.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm overriding you here. But the problem is, I say it all the time that, and no one knows what I'm quoting. Yeah.
Wait, huh?
I don't know this one. So, you know, I was looking into, you know, what's interesting about the top actors like Martin Lawrence? Like, so if you go into the Guinness World Record and you look up the top, I promise you, if you want a conspiracy, check it out, right? The top 10 grossing black actors. You want to know what all connections that they all have?
What's that?
They all wore a dress.
Oh yes. Yeah. It's quite odd too because today, you know, that whole Cat Williams thing is going on and how
I want to review that.
Cool.
You know what? Fuck it. What was it? Shay, what's his name?
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams. This got to be some clips. If we what do we call this shit? Go dark. It's because of this. So good night, everybody. If we go dark, but go ahead.
No, yeah. So the whole Cat Williams dug all of that stuff from like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I forgot I was watching. Remember when Dave Chappelle went on to Oprah and was saying that, like, you know, some Hollywood execs was like, yeah, we'll find you funny if you know, if you just wore this dress. And he said, I'm not going to wear a dress. But I was watching the other night, Robin Hood Men in Tights. And guess what Dave Chappelle was wearing? And I'm not to rag on Dave Chappelle because I love Dave Chappelle. He's my favorite comedian. But he was wearing a dress.
You know, when he was making those, what the people were saying, transphobic comics in his comedy, you know what people weren't catching in his Netflix? He admitted that he was kind of a switcher. He admitted it. And not that he was trans, but that he was open in a sense, because he said he made a joke, but people will laugh over the joke. But the funny thing about jokes is that they're not always just fictional. They're like true stories. So he said what happened was he was in the club and he was dancing and the lights turned on and it was, you know, trans or whatever. And he's like, yo, why didn't, you know, people were laughing at me. He's like, well, why didn't you tell me? He's like, because Dave, you looked like you were having a good time, you know, doing that shit.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But what did he say? He said something like, well, it looks like our dance is over. He's like, no, motherfucker. Like something like, you know, basically he continued to dance with the person. And I swore he made a joke at the end. He's like, then we went home and fucked.
Like, I think he said like titty fucked her or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Bro, like, and he was admitting during his other specials that he was mad that he was attracted, and he was admitting to it. You know, And it's not to rag on him or nothing like that, but he was open to talk about it, that shit. And then it was the same with what's his name? Another dude, Richard Pryor. Did you ever see the roast of Richard Pryor and Paul Mooney?
Mm-hmm.
He said, he told Paul Mooney on that roast, he's like, yeah, just out of the blue, he's like, I sucked the man's dick. And people were just like, oh. He's like, yeah, well, I'm going to get this shit out before these motherfuckers come out and say it. And people were just like, oh, ha, 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 ha. And he was talking about how, man, and he just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Open closet, all that came out, said it, and people just laughed it off and called it a day. I was like, he just told us the fucking world. It's not rocket science. It was crazy. But yeah, it's interesting that, and reason why I brought that up is because it was what's his name, Little Richard.
Yes. Oh
and
yeah,
clearly a gay guy, right? Open or whatever. But then he went born again.
Yes.
And he was just like, I ain't gay, never was. And he was on what's the show? The Tonight Show, not the Tonight Show, but the Late Show with what's that other guy? Not Jay Leno, but the other guy.
Who, Letterman? David?
Letterman. He was on the Letterman show. And he was emasculated, not like, flamboyant or nothing.
Yeah.
And, he's sitting there with his fro and his suit and looking macho, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah. He's like, Little Richard is an act.
Yeah.
And he's like, the reason why Little Richard was created was because they didn't like the fact that I could potentially go and fuck their woman. So I had to become Little Richard and put up the lipstick. Then I became safe from that. And then that's when I became popular.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, because I think he even delved into the part like his family knew, like before he became reborn, before he became saved again. But like I think he had mentioned, I think he got sexually assaulted when he was younger, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy stories, that are said, and necessarily people are that listen to it.
Yeah,
but like I said, if we go dark, this is the reason.
Your webinars wasting.
I never seen any of this. I saw some Yahoo News shit on this.
Oh, so you haven't seen it yet?
Side of Kirk.
I don't have a clue what was said.
Okay, get ready for the CM Punk. I'm telling you right now, where he must have met with CM Punk somewhere and learned and just devised. He said, "Hey, look, I want to learn how to do a pipe bomb because this is exactly what it was. It was a pipe bomb today."
Yes. So Michael Jackson, believe it or not, was a major gamer, and he did work with Sega. He made the soundtrack for one of the games too. I forgot which game.
It was Sonic 3.
Sonic. He made the soundtrack for one of the Sonics, and he was the end boss, licensed legit end boss on something 5. It was Dreamcast game. It was based off of one of his music videos down in Disney. Oh shit. Space Channel 5.
Space Channel 5.
Yeah, left, right, left. And Captain EO, it was like emulates that Captain EO shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was a major guy. He like I said, did the production work on one of the Sega soundtracks and chose not to get credited like you would think. Yeah, well, I wouldn't necessarily say it was an act, but his natural voice that you would hear in private was more baritone and deep. But he was soft spoken, which it's true. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's an act, but what you saw was there's more to him. Now I can tell you what was an act. I was on a show called Only in America with the Larry the Cable Guy. And he's like, get her done, and I'm a redneck. No. the most northern Yankee sounding motherfucker you would ever meet in your life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I don't want to exaggerate his name, but it was like, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, Ron, you know, Berkman is blah. I was like, what? What's his name? He's like, yeah, his real name is da 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 da. And I was told by the director, it's all an act.
Wow.
It's his accent is 100% fake. It's just a character. Because I met the guy. Like, I was on his show.
Damn.
But that dude he was trying to make me laugh, and they reversed the order of the show. It's so creepy. Television production is scary shit, man. They can make you look like a monster. They can make you look perfect. It's all about the tone of music they play behind you.
Oh, yeah.
And if the producers don't like you. So it was funny because my troupe that was on the show, he wouldn't shut the fuck up. And while the show was playing, he didn't get no lines in. You didn't see him once say anything.
Wow.
And I got a line in, and I didn't want a line in. I just wanted to show, like, I had my beard and everything. You know, I had my waiver. I was like, man, they ain't gonna show my ass on TV. I was like, oh, I'm on television with a fucking full blonde beard. This is awesome in military uniform. And girl got at the end, she got to say, how did that guy get a TV show anyway? It was awesome. And but yeah, man, he was a cool dude, man. Bigger than I thought too. He's a pretty big dude. And real nice, fake accent. But he was asking me like controversial shit that I couldn't necessarily answer. But he's like, yeah, you ever catch anyone fucking? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, in the planes, you know, you ever come and check on them and you ever catch them fucking? I'm like, what? And I'm just like, not trying to laugh. I'm like, no. And they put it on the fucking shit. So he's like, hey, you ever catch anyone doing any unsolicited acts? You know, I'm like, no. But that's not what he said to me. He asked me, was they fucking? And screamed it and yelled it in his accent and everything. And I'm ready to bawl laughing. And I keep it in, and they just got me looking like a prude, going, no. I'm like, that's not what he asked me. Like, how did this happen? And then everything that was going, like, timeline, you know, I knew it was forward because I was there. But everything they showed was in, like, reverse. But to you, it looks like it was going forward. It's insane what they can do with editing, man. Insane.
Yep.
It was wow.
Creative materials even better.
You're gonna love
Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth.
Oh, I like this guy.
You stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Cat Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike, and Cat Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now, listen, 3 quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weighed 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?
This is like a secret weapon. It's Arcade by Output.
I'm telling you, this is a pipeline. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know
he shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence.
You know what it reminds me of?
With a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody. It would have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said it?
He could have played that role like you. I thought he
was. Sir, no one. Why no? He was with KD. He beat up Terry Crews. Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he, what? So Ricky Smiley knows this. And I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. But I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days?
Yo.
The truth of the matter is,
Hollywood
the Money Mike in
bombs.
the original script got raped in the bathroom. And that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Cat Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast. And
did I tell you the story about Prince interview with, I think it was, what's that comedian's name? He's the one who got punched in the face.
Who, Charlie Murphy?
No, he got punched in the face by Will Smith.
Oh, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. He got interviewed by Chris Rock, right? And he was saying that Prince had the original access to doing bad.
Yes,
it was given to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Prince said, "You ever heard the first line in that song?" He says, "Your blood is mine." He says, "Now I don't know who the hell's you singing that to, because I sure as hell ain't singing it to you."
I've seen that. Oh man. Well, all I'm saying, man, even if they didn't do bad, what magic Michael Jackson and Prince would have created if they would have made a song together.
So I was looking into that, and apparently it was just like, I guess the beef was just too great. And it was not necessarily that they were beefing, but I guess Michael, it was more on Michael, it seemed, that he just did not see eye to eye at all with Prince. But you know what was amazing is that Prince was significantly older than Mike. And if you look at their accolades, don't get me wrong, you know, Mike is fucking the greatest entertainer, you know, in history. But Prince would have more accolades as far as number of songs written, musician level. I'm not taking nothing away from Mike. Mike was like music prodigy, one of the greatest of all times, period. But you necessarily can't compare the two. But Prince, man, he was a virtuoso on the guitar, other instruments,
very skilled in all types of
and I saw a crazy interview about him from that dude who did Dogma, and he was doing a documentary on Prince that Prince hired him for. And he was talking about how he was taking the shit, and Prince had like mics in the bathroom and crazy shit. But he said, long story short, after he did the documentary, they put it in the vault, and they confirmed the vault was real. Now the vault's now actually confirmed real, but at the time it was kind of like a myth. It was just interesting that he was putting that out there. He says, "I prefer to pretend your blood is wine." Ha ha ha. Hey, I got that covered, man. Blood of Jesus Christ is right here. Proof for Passover. I'm drinking it up.
There are powers that be in his very first movie. And say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy, right, where I have all the credibility and all the pull.
So what was interesting about this is it was brilliant. And in the comedy special, what's his name? Because you guys see me drinking, so I'm trying to fucking pull up his name. Black comedian. What is his name? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. Hey, you got to pull. Dave Chappelle did a bit on it, and he was talking about how the contracts are written, and you're not humans. he says you are considered the artist, or that's how they write you. Now, he wasn't necessarily talking about Prince, but he was mentioning how they were doing it. So then Prince talked about his bit. And long story short, that's why he was known as the artist, formerly known as Prince, because he was taking a stab at the contracts that he had, because he was no longer able to use his actual name.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for him to reserve his own work, he called himself the artist, which is what's written in the contract, and that's who he is.
The problem with Friday After Next is,
how do I
we're
forget
trying
Dave
to make
Chappelle?
a classic comedy, and this comedy involves a rape. And rape is
Jesus
never
Christ,
funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was
I see what it
going
says
to play
across, but
Money
what does it
Mike.
say going down?
No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Cat Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them.
The fuck?
Wow.
Is this an ad every 2 seconds?
Big.
It shouldn't be that many ads.
That's how I already know that I'm going to be funnier than you. What he told everybody was, Cat Williams, and don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steven Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years.
Damn.
He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie?
Hey,
was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor.
My man drinking water.
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life.
Woo.
They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
Wow. So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie.
Hold up. Are they
So that he knows
lenses
is a
in
lie.
his glasses, or
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Cat Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018. You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was.
Is this like
the same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star.
He's not angry. He's stating a truth. He might be upset, but I wouldn't say he's angry. Michael Jackson was raised Jehovah's Witness, but they told him if he did Thriller, he would be disassociated. Prince became and died a Jehovah's Witnesses. I've always thought, and that was another thing that hold on.
Cat Williams is also Jehovah's Witness too.
Chris Rock said that Prince was always known to be the eccentric guy and pretty much labeled,
funny,
not straight.
Yeah.
And yet he was the one with the wives, know. He's like, I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's so funny because Charlie Murphy, remembering one of the Dave Chappelle skit, he said, in that Prince skit, he says it was always the guys that looked like a bitch that got all the women that dressed like a bitch that got all the women.
I would call out the double standards a lot on that, where they're like, look how men used to dress. I was like, why you never say shit about Prince wearing them fucking string bikinis and thongs and shit? Yeah. All them cats in the 70s and shit wearing, you can see their nuts and shit, cameo and shit.
And chaps.
Like, come on, man. Them dudes, you see the butt cheeks and shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I was rocking to the songs, but it is what it was. But y'all like, that was the age of real men. Huh?
Cameos talk about taste like candy.
Yeah, taste like candy.
Oh, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That shit was, it was fly. Like, dun, 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 dun. All right.
No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good.
Kevin Hart is now the most successful of them all. I appreciated his jokes that made fun of himself and not others. I don't think that's his history at all.
Yeah,
maybe some Netflix 2019 shit, but that's not how Kevin started out. He's a roaster from hell, dude.
Good old baby and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have a range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Cat Williams in there.
Brother, I got to step out.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, have a good one, brother.
All right, man. Peace. Guys, take care.
See you.
I don't know, Cat. We might not
do this shit.
And I interviewed them all. What drug? And guess what, Shannon? Nobody had a great story. Nobody had a great story.
Man, I'm gonna have
of what
the
meth
whole
had
damn
done for them,
episode
what crack
later.
had done for them, what cocaine had done for them, what heroin had done for them, what speed had done for them. Nobody had them.
I think I'm about same amount.
Everybody's story was I had my life together. And then
I'm gonna have to do a Cat Williams episode next go.
And I lost my wife, I lost my house, I lost my cars, I lost my reputation, and I'm now out here sucking penis in the woods.
What you talking about?
Talk about scared straight. You ain't got to worry about me. If it ain't weed or nicotine, you won't see me touching it. I don't want no parts. I done seen what these things can do to people. Anything that take over your free will is the devil itself.
Have you ever thought about what your life would have been had you stayed in Dayton, Ohio?
Not gonna lie. Friday movies.
No, that's like asking somebody that's in the NBA for 14 years, like, what would have happened if you didn't come to the NBA?
Friday movies have been on constantly in the last month, and I keep watching them every time.
I thought it was what I was made for. I thought it was what I was built for. Anybody that knows me will tell you that when they first met Cat Williams, when I was Cat in the Hat, and they tell these stories about how he changed his name. Look, the truth of the matter is Disney sued me. Yeah, I was Cat in the Hat. They sent me a cease and desist letter, and I'm not even making $25,000 a year. And the mega company Disney has sent me a cease and desist telling me I can't use any variations of that name. Fine, I'm Cat Williams. That's all that happened. I have been this same product the entire time. They will tell you when they first saw me doing stand-up, I was just like this. This is what I bring. This is my style.
When did you know you wanted? Were you always funny? Did you always want to be a comedian? How did you stumble on the comedianship?
Show on this.
No, I loved what they did, and so I studied them. All of them. I studied all of the white comedians because I wanted to know, why is Monty Python funny? Why is Don not so talented? I wanted to know, what is George Carlin's thing? Like, so I studied all of the comedy masters regardless of the field because I loved to laugh. I didn't know that these people were making a great living at doing this. I thought this is just what they did. They tell jokes. They're funny people, but I loved the craft. And that's why when I got into the craft, I thought it was my obligation to make sure that I kept writing new material so much that it forced these comedians to stop doing the set they've been doing for 10 years and keep writing some new stuff. And I knew that if I could get that to take on, that most of these bums would have to just quit comedy because they can't keep up. They're not gonna keep writing an hour worth of material.
Right.
I've written an hour worth of material 19 times. They're not gonna do it. Why? Because they're not creative writers. They want to get somebody else and have them write it and put it together.
So if I'm listening to you correct me if I'm wrong. I think the best thing that ever happened was the internet, because now they have to. Because normally, like you said, you could do a set and you do that set in Kansas City. People ain't heard it in San Francisco. People ain't heard it in Miami. They ain't heard it in Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, so forth and so on. Now you do a set, it's on the internet. Somebody heard it. So you can't do a set and make it last 3 months, 4 months.
Kevin Hart does roast, but I feel like his man
it doesn't allow the regular comic the ability to grow.
Fighting
is
and
the
all
real
that.
problem. Like
Also,
part
his
of
back and forth
comedy
with
is
The Rock
me
is always
taking these
hilarious.
jokes in January, and by March,
I agree.
I've begun to craft this joke.
Okay.
It's not as simple as it was when I wrote it. It was just da-da-da-da-da. But now it has the complexities of the fact that I'm having to deliver this to an East Coast audience, a down South audience, a Midwest audience, a Utah audience, a Colorado audience. And so it begins to take on a different complexion because you're having to deliver it to different people.
Okay.
And so this is what sharpens your joke. You then take those sharpened jokes and make it special. Not you.
All right, let's see what we got here.
We on that next level.
Ads. Give me the ads.
No. I've found that you don't get anything for that. It seems very egomaniacal. They go, hey, Cat, for free, you can go further back. Hey, what? Wait a minute, does it still count the same? Hey, I'm up at the ladies' tee. Don't tell me my pronouns. On the golf course, I'm she, her, him, them, and they. Whoever at the front tee.
I know we're joking. We're having a great conversation, but you did win the award. How did the award help your career? It had to help some, Cat.
Nope. No.
God, come on, Cat.
I didn't remember it happened to you. Just said it. How can Cedric give you an award that was worth something? Everything Cedric and Ricky Smiley ever been in got canceled for not being funny.
Ooh.
Ricky sat here and told you that they cut him out of every movie he did. They always had a reason. Like, that's why I'm funny, because I'm a happy person. I laugh all day long. I can't even imagine the misery of these bums. Just to not be good at what you do, not work hard at what you do, but have to act like you're the best at what you do. It is crazy. It's crazy.
But they be touring, they be doing like 100 shows a year.
That's me. I don't run into none of them. That's what I'm saying. If you a Faison Love fan, you mean you've been a fan of him for 32 years, you still waiting on him to do his first special? You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey, your favorite comedian, you mean you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for 15 years now?
I mean, Steve got a lot of other
DL's still out there. None of those irons matter to stand-up.
Damn.
Who cares that they wrote a placard for you to do Family Feud on? Like, you're successful because we're surprised you can talk for a living and it's entertaining that you're going to say some funny country things. But not a writer.
Right.
Not a writer.
How did you develop Money Mike and get it? I mean, everybody talk Money Mike. How did you come up with that and said, you know what? This is how he should dress. This is how he should talk. This is how he should look. This is the kind of whip he should ride. This is how he should talk.
So if you'll remember that was my first movie, just understand that what I did then, I've done with every single role, whether it was an Emmy-winning role or whether it wasn't, whether I was playing somebody homeless, whether I was playing a dirty vagabond on Atlanta, whether it was an eccentric guy in First Sunday, regardless of what the role is, the first thing I do is erase me from it.
Okay.
So anything that I would naturally do, that's what I'm not going to do because I'm playing a different character.
Playing the character. Okay.
Right. So I then create this person based upon real life circumstances. So I don't have to wonder what a pimp thinks because I've been in that position for a little while. I also worked manual labor for some time in my life, so I don't have a problem paying somebody that works. And I don't have a problem being a go-getter because I'm a go-getter. So I bring whatever I can to these characters. I was able to... the first week that I got the script, there was a pimp guy that used to be a pimp, but he wasn't anymore. He was a rapper now, and his name was Mac Minister. And he had been a pimp and was going to be a rapper. And I had never done a movie before. I was a stand-up, and I'm getting ready to do the movie.
I swear I had a whole
and
bottle of
I
fucking
was
soda
able
near
to
me, and that
craft
shit done
what a real pimp was like, what was too much. I didn't want to be stereotypical.
Right.
I did the research. I saw how many times people
How
played
you not
pimps,
know?
and they were always... It was always something weird about them, I guess, because it's a weird job. You know what I mean?
You
And I
gotta say the
wanted
whole
somebody that didn't seem like none of that, that he really thought it was a business and treated it like that. And so, you know, adding those levels to acting is what all actors do if they're not Steve or Cedric or Ricky. Like, you're trying to create a character. You can't just be Faison in every movie. Like, you just gonna take your shirt off on every movie? Like, why does it say that in your script?
Man, let Big Worm live. Let him breathe, cat. Let Big Worm breathe. Stall him out now.
Watch NHL games live on a variety of networks.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
No, I ain't got no allegiance to the man. But you got to admit the role that he played, Big Perm in Friday Night. You got to give him credit for the role. Now, come on now.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If what you're saying is correct, why wasn't he in next Friday or Friday after next?
I mean, his role,
it wasn't good.
Damn.
Sorry.
There was a lot of people that appeared in the first one that weren't in the second one, Cat.
I'm just telling you why. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there's a news flash that there are reasons for things in a business.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, why did you bench D-Lo? He had 2 points. What are you talking about? Shut up. But I like him. Nobody cares about that. That's not what we're talking about. These are business conversations that deal with businessmen.
Right.
Right. When you're good at something, you should progress. The guys that are not as good, they should fall down by the wayside. That's natural.
So you believe if your talent doesn't support it, you should fall by the wayside, and the guys that have the talent and they get elevated, they should move.
No, that's what water says. That's what the universe say. The universe say the levels. No, I don't. Not I say. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I'm working every day as if I think that's what
should happen.
Is how it should be. And I'm choosing comedians that also write and work hard and don't steal other people's material. And I'm making sure that they all make $300,000 a season. And I'm making sure that they're not ever signed to me or my conglomerate. And that's why they're successful. No, you can work with me and still be an independent businessman, boss owner like you came in.
Right.
I don't need you to be subservient to me. That's those other guys that make you pay dues.
You said earlier that you rewrote a lot of what Money Mike was to say and how he behaved. So they allowed you the freedom, the liberty to ad lib.
Yeah, he was.
How much?
I don't think he
Would they allow you to just make an interception if didn't nobody talk about it? As a football player, if the ball come your way, can you just grab it? Can you make an interception anytime? Are you allowed to pick up any fumble? You can do any hustling, right? Oh, okay. Same here. Same here.
But here's the thing, though. Even as an offensive player, they might let me ad lib once I get a couple of years under my belt. They wouldn't let me ad lib as a rookie. That was your first movie.
I told you the conversation in my first movie, just because I am committed to laughs. The only way I made it past those 300 comedians, I didn't tell you this. What it required is I had to watch all 300 comedians 10 times a piece. I watched your set 10 times of you performing, whoever you were, and then I counted how many laughs you got every time you did these amount of minutes. So if you told me this comedian and told me he did 30 minutes, I could tell you that he got 26 laughs in that 30 minutes because I had done the numbers on everybody. So I didn't just say I was funnier. I knew I was funnier than the comic you liked, and I could tell you how many jokes funnier I was, because that's how we judge stand-up. You do 15 minutes, I do 15 minutes. How do I know I'm funnier than you? Because you got 6 laughs and I got 16. I'm almost 3 times better than you, low-key boy. But I'm never gonna tell you the formula. So you gonna keep just going out there telling jokes, not understanding that psychologically, the audience by 10 years is convinced that I'm funnier than you. They just don't know why. Because I'm putting out more content.
Low-key boy.
I had Terry Crews on here. He said at the time that you did the movie, you were homeless. Is that true?
This was my situation. I
used one simple webinar presentation to produce $2 million in the past 12 months, and it was 100%.
5 months prior to me getting this first audition for Friday After Next, I got this baby son. I'm holding him up above me. He grabs my little chain. He's playing with it, and he accidentally drops it. It breaks out my front 2 teeth. I'm in a situation now where when I go to the dentist, they telling me this gonna cost thousands and thousands of dollars to fix this right. They're not telling me what it's gonna look like. I go get an estimate with no money involved, find out what I need to do. They find out you got a tumor in your upper jaw, so we're gonna have to do a whole surgery for you. It's gonna be 100 bands. I don't have it. And I'm only gonna have this check from this movie. So while I'm doing this movie, we live in this trailer. This is where we live. So when they come to work at 5 in the morning, we already there. When they leave at night, we still there. We just double back because we understood that this is our one opportunity. And we have this opportunity to change our lives, just like a young man going for the draft.
Right.
We can actually get in the league with this. There are 30 comedians on this cast. They're all magnificent. This is the holy grail of the situation. So yeah, I was able to make sure that, because it wasn't just my first movie, it was KD Albert's first movie. It was Terry Crews' first movie.
Absolutely.
I was the leader of this group, which meant that we didn't do their rehearsals. They did rehearsal. We did our own rehearsals daily to make sure that we were at the level of professional actors, which is what made it so egregious. That guy saying, I was supposed to, you were supposed to what?
Caddy did have a good part in the movie, man. The Santa Claus was funny, man.
The dude said the entire time we're filming, I can't play this role. They got a bandana over my nose and my mouth. My family not even gonna know who this is. What? So yeah, tell your story.
Terry Crews also said that you guys had a lot of conversation, that this was your
faked like I want. And
This
that's
little
the whole
dude
thing.
goes straight.
That's the whole thing, is I don't have a type of woman. Every woman that I ever had as a type, I ended up getting her. Now she's not the type anymore. Now I understand that
He gets canceled for trying to tell.
I never knew him from Wild 'N Out, to be honest.
Okay.
I came across him as a new comic.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really just trying to see the comics, judge where they are, see it. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
So the canceling, what do you think about this cancel culture? You see the situation with Jonathan Major. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know if maybe he can bounce back in a couple of years, but man, he was hot. He was hot. He was cooking. I mean, you see him in Creed. He's in the Marvel movies, and then just like that.
Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory, but I thought Cat Williams said any time they make you into that position, part of that contract is you do understand whenever we want to take you down, we can, right? Part of giving you the world. First of all, they went around the world for 2 years straight telling any women that would listen that this was a good-looking Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Since when? When did y'all start liking a big nose? And when did y'all like a little head and a big jaw? When? Since when? That look like my daddy. When you start liking my daddy? You like black people's features like that? If this ugly nigga is good looking, then all niggas is good looking. Anytime you see them telling you something you can't believe, just understand it's a play. And it don't matter. You gonna know it's a play as soon as they get in that position and think they gonna tell somebody something. No, you're not. No, you're not. Marvel will cancel you you won't be allowed to read a comic book. What is you talking about? Get out of here. Get out of here, ugly boy. Yeah, they love fooling the people.
What's your relationship like with Suge Knight? You still close with Suge? Have you spoken to him? Have you talked to him recently?
Yeah, it's doing good. Yeah, he's
man, when you a friend for life with Cat Williams.
Yeah, because the people that come to me are trying to better their life. They're not trying to continue doing what they have been doing.
Okay.
So when somebody comes to me, male or female, it is in the auspices that this is what I did, this is what I used to do, this ain't what I want to do no more, and I want to do something else, and I'd like it to go a different way.
Okay.
That's what I offer.
Yeah.
So if you come to me under those auspices, then my loyalty is lifelong. Why would it not be?
Tory Lanez and Meg. What was your take on that? Because I know you got to take on everything. I know
it's a difficult position because somebody's not going to tell the truth. And the truth has got to be told. In all circumstances, the truth has got to be told. So if you don't want to say she shot her, then you shot her. And that's the end of that.
Wow. You said have you ever spent time in jail?
30 times.
When you was in there, what was going through your mind, Cat? What did I mean? Some people like, man, I had an opportunity to reflect, and I was like, man, this ain't the place for me. I ain't coming back here. When you in, so what?
I've never been in jail, and it was my decision to be there. If it's dangerous to be in the hood and you have to have a gun on you for protection, and it's either be judged by 6 or judged by 12 or carried by 6, I'm always gonna have my heater on me. So if you want to tell me that you're gonna pull me over 15 times looking for it, I'm gonna tell you 15 times you're gonna find it. Unfortunately, I smoke cigarettes and weed. If you catch me 15 times, 15 times I'm gonna have it on me. What do you think I'm in jail thinking? Oh, I done fuck up. Damn these decisions. I'm not gonna protect my life at all when I get out of here. Fuck it, let them do what they want to do to me. No, when I'm in there, I'm fine, and I'm understanding that I'm put here for a reason. And the people that get joy off me being in here are really gonna look stupid because I'm finna be free, because you gotta be setting this up. I'm never anywhere to get anything. You don't know I just made $300,000 in your city. That's why you think I might be out here as a ne'er-do-well.
You gotta hear it.
You think he's smoking weed? Yeah, he's got a medical license for it. He needs it. It's his only medication. Do you mind if he takes it? It helps him eat. Because he does 100 city tours, flying across the line. And so he doesn't get hungry on the regular. He doesn't get sleepy at night. He's got to literally put himself to sleep. He's literally got to make himself eat. So this marijuana helps him do both of those things.
Marijuana help you sleep?
Oh yeah. Because remember, as a comedian, what you're doing is against your natural timeline. Your natural timeline wouldn't be that you would start your workday at 8:00 p.m.
Right.
And then your workday is over at 2:30 a.m. Like, that's a weird,
yes,
right? So to tell your body now that we're pumped up on endorphins, now let's go to sleep at 3. It don't work like that. Your body has to try to get a whole new schedule.
True.
So, it suffered, but that's what worked for me. I consistently used it. I told people all across the country, don't worry, this will be legal in our country. As soon as they find out how to charge taxes for it, we will be legal in this country. Do they view me as some sort of visionary for my forward thinking? No. You on drugs. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but how have you been? I mean, bro, every time they try to put you down, they try to put you to the back.
Yeah.
You bounce up, you move right back to the front. Damn, you like a Super Bowl. You just keep bouncing and you bounce higher.
Trampoline skin is something that you ask God for. When I watched you play football, you had it. There's some people that there's really no such thing as hitting Shannon Sharp so hard that he don't want to run the ball the next play.
Right. Absolutely.
And if that's your only goal is to hit him so hard that he don't want to be him no more, you just out of luck.
Yeah, you wasting your time.
There's no your coach can't help you. There ain't no pep talk gonna help you. Don't matter about the uniform, your cheerleading. None of that matters. If it ever gets to mano y mano, may the best man win. And if you've been living your entire life trying to be the best man that you can for yourself, then you should feel great about those
What the hell is
odds.
Cat Williams sitting on?
What do you think about
is he on
Kanye
the
rants?
edge or on the
What's going on with Kanye?
fire station?
From a distance, obviously, I don't know how well you know Kanye. I don't know if you've been around Kanye, but from a distance, what do you suspect's going on?
He's got mental health issues.
I suspect that we're pretty awful people if we say that somebody got a mental illness.
Yeah, I like his
and
truth
then we
telling,
watch
man.
what they do.
Yeah, he's got a mental illness, bro.
If you say somebody got special needs, then why would you be watching them and holding them accountable like everybody else? Wouldn't you grade them on a curve? Wouldn't you go, whew, this guy? Because, I mean, what are we reacting to? What are we reacting to?
Yeah,
You're
same
the
here,
one
man.
that put
I
him
think
in a
next episode
position
I'm gonna watch
where
this
he
before
thought
I
he
skip
was
through
God
it
and could
the
call
last,
himself Jesus. And
30 minutes.
you're the
3
one
hours
told
long.
the guy that writes musical
Well,
lyrics
my next
that he
goal
was
is to
a
do a
genius.
fucking full
You're the
watch
one
on
that's
this
like, so
since they don't seem to be flagging
what do
me.
you expect? The guy married a
Definitely gonna go over
whore.
this whole
Like,
thing.
what?
Oh, Lord.
Like, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, married her because she was one. Not he didn't know. He understood that he wanted that. He courted that. That's what he wanted to base his
But maybe
family
she got a
on.
good heart, though. I know what you're going to say. Don't you say it, Cat. Don't you say it. I'm going to move the
If
conversation.
what I'm saying is not correct, then how does she end up with Pete Davidson?
Bruh.
I mean, that happens all the time.
And what if you weren't even good enough for Pete and he leaves you? What do that mean the product was?
Damn.
No, I don't support or villainize Kanye because I don't understand what it is we want from him. I don't know why we look at a basketball player and say, he didn't score no hockey goals this whole season. He don't play hockey. Kanye don't say nothing I can agree with. Okay. He was...
So, did you know this story when Kanye was talking about it? She invited him apparently to the show. And apparently, because this is his story, she's sitting there making out with the man on the show. You know, that whole kiss scene. So she fucked with his head bad, dude. How fucked up was that?
The weird guy in the beginning with the pink sweaters when we met him. Like, what do you think moving to a beat of your own drum? This dude started a church and kept cussing. Nobody in black church said nothing. You would have thought all the pastors would have came. You can't be no gospel artist. You just said fuck that bitch. Nobody said nothing because TD Jakes over there with P Diddy. Like,
come on, cat.
Only the guy you had here has been upfront and honest and a man of God and humble and took the L's he had to take and didn't.
I did see it was trending though, but I ain't know. I ain't know why, cat. I don't. Let me go to this question right here. This question
All
right
people that love the truth got to be happy if the truth coming out and lies is getting exposed. That's just what time it is. 2024, folks.
Are you related to Luda?
No. So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us. We were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Cat Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people? Yes. It's part of what they give you. Okay? I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200?
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
200 million. I might need to get me one of them old women look the same.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you?
So he didn't. Luda didn't put it. Hold up, Chris.
You have a lot of politics.
Never talk about it. I'm not that controversial.
Where are we go? Where are we headed, Cat?
This is sad. We've never been here before. We've never been at the point where neither option is good for us in real life.
No.
This is a different conversation. This is, would you rather go back with your ex, or would you rather go back with the person before them?
Both bad options.
Both bad options. Like, one guy can barely put his sentences together, and the other guy will put sentences together from whatever he's read or whoever told him. Like,
but how do we get here? How do we get here?
All division divides. There's no way around that. All division divides.
He's got a pretty
politics. Even in the beginning, when our Constitution was drawn up, the two parties was not what they had in mind.
No.
They always thought that it would be two main and another independent party. They always assumed the independent party would be just as strong as the others. A lot of that just didn't happen. And that's what I've learned more from comedy, is that Republicans laugh at the exact same thing that Democrats laugh at. As long as I'm talking to Democrats, I can make
wouldn't that be
for 1
funny as
hour
fuck
straight
though?
about what Republicans do. By the same token, I can go talk
the thing
to
is, there's been
Republicans
many
for a whole
characters
hour and
like
have them
before
dying about the stuff that Democrats do. But at the end of the day, who does that? Yeah, your team got an offense and a defense. They're not supposed to be enemies. The enemy is the other side.
Oh, it'd be great shit, man.
You can't do politics like that.
Nope.
It's not good for the country.
Man, you see this Mark Zuckerberg building this $270 million bunker?
If you have $1 billion, we have learned that you can do whatever you want to do. When Elon Musk wants to send things in space, he don't have to ask nobody's permission. Congress don't meet. Senate don't meet. No police department got to be warned. He don't need a permit. None of that. If you got $1 billion, you do what you want to do, and then you tell them what you did.
Man.
And that's how it goes.
What he built on a $270 million bunker? What do you know that we don't know, Cat?
Kim Jong-un? What? I don't know what you don't know. Do you understand that people that are not very bright are in charge of nuclear bombs all across the country?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he knows. He knows that 30% of all weapons systems are running off regular Wi-Fi. So what does that mean? That means if a solar flare or a meteor hits either one of those, literally a bomb can go off just because the system accidentally got turned off. Yeah, that's what he knows.
I could tell you from my standpoint that that's not true. I don't know how the rest of the world works, but not ours.
The people that are in power know that the people that are running the most complicated and deadliest
I was a nuclear cop.
things on the planet, just an average idiot. And you know lots of idiots.
I do.
Yep. And these people are not special. Back in the day they were.
Yeah.
Not today. Not today.
You say you smoke with weed. You don't smoke with Snoop.
Yeah. I'm actually a bigger smoker than Snoop. He'll tell you that. But I don't mix anything with my weed. I just do weed, right? So nobody has
that minimum. I mean,
nobody does 20 blunts a day like me for 30 years. Like I was the first person a weed roller, like somebody whose job it was. Like, I haven't rolled a blunt in 20 years. Like if you go, I'm saying I prefer the saliva of ladies.
Oh my goodness.
No, understand what I'm saying. If for a blunt, it's necessary for it to get lit, right? And so if you had spent 20 years smoking with dudes, that's a lot of male saliva that you would have just accidentally ingested. I can't.
But if I done killed her,
I can't be this specimen on that. It takes
I didn't even think about that.
Nice ladies.
But
yeah, I'm
because
that's
Snoop
all
has his own blunt.
do you consider yourself
So that means
a
he's
king of comedy?
licking.
Where does Cat?
No, they consider that.
Oh,
like when after Bernie left, them same three guys I'm telling you about, the kings.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah,
DL is the greatest. There's no DL slander gets tolerated. But
I never thought
they
about
came
that.
to me. I was supposed to be the fourth king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Fuck you. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was gonna be called the Kings of Comedy. It was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you gotta close if it's your tour. That's why it was such a big deal. But you couldn't do it because you can't beat the best. And until you humble yourself, you will forever be kinged by the king. And because you finally did it, because you had no other choice, and now that he gone, you gonna act like he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it. You stop it. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it because you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest. Period. Every time.
Bernie Mac was the funniest.
And that's why no audience member was ever swayed. It didn't matter where Bernie went. You think if Bernie went first, he wasn't the king? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get your ego out of this. You let the best be the best. Right?
Cat Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming on, bro. I really appreciate that. Thanks for sharing.
I'm about to do a whole thing on this. This was good shit. Man. Long thing. I'm gonna have to check out. So what happened? I went over the freaking contract shit at the beginning. Had a couple guests on, had Zod Ryder, Bill spoke on the Bash Box, spoke on the rat shit and feces shit at the beginning. Got my swats in at Mr. fucking Troll Ass during the middle of the bit here. Prince was on. He had to sign off. I went ahead and watched a little bit of this crazy interview that I'm going to definitely do a fucking full watch on next time, because this was good shit. So I'm gonna have to check out the whole thing. I'll probably just check it out live again. But yeah, that's it for now. Unless anyone's got any questions, I'm gonna bounce. It's a good night. All right. Peace, love. Thank you guys for checking me out. Appreciate everybody. Thank you. Have a great night.